Hi and good afternoon and welcome to THFC's Till I Die marathon stream. Well, it's the end of the show. Tottenham signing nobody, so that's it. See you later. We're back to
Bye.
Welcome
Nice
to
knowing you.
Welcome to the stream. And IZHAN will be joining us because IZHAN's sort of 6 hours behind us. He will be joining us. But joining me to begin is my usual two co-hosts that really are the legends of this channel. The godfather below, Mr. PHILLIP Brady, and beside me is Sky Sports News' latest Sky reporter, Queen ELLY Holberg. How are you, ELLY?
Yes. Well, I was a bit jealous of Ricky Sachs being on Sky today, so I thought I'd get my old gear out and give him some competition.
Yeah. And PHILLIP, how are you, sir? How are you today?
Yeah. Sitting here sort of wondering what's going to happen, if anything's going to happen over the next 6 or 7 hours. I still think something is going to give here in Tottenham land.
Yeah,
There's somebody's going to pull something out of a hat before 11 o'clock tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but it's just, I've been watching Sky Sports now for maybe the last 2 or 3 hours, and I haven't heard the word Spurs mentioned once, except a couple of banners that we're in talks to sign this guy from what do you call him, from Marseille? No, from Marseille.
Oh, from Monaco.
Monaco, Gelson.
Monaco,
yeah.
Gelson Martins, is it?
Yeah.
Who I have to admit I never even heard of until half an hour ago. But anyway, we'll see.
We see.
I'm sure very well.
Yeah, well, we've got a few people in the chat, quite surprisingly, on this lovely Thursday
I've sent
late
the link
afternoon.
that we see.
Right, and we've got Alex Hilton steak. I like chips with my steak. So good. We've got Carl Simpson. Good afternoon, Carl. We've got Mr. Wembley 1. Afternoon, boys. Levy is well and truly getting his revenge in today for being cornered by Conte into spending early and often. Despite the obvious holes in the squad, Levy will revel in doing nothing. Well, look, it isn't 11 o'clock yet, so we'll see what will happen. Carl Simpson says, I've just asked for a late loan move to Manchester City. I'm just awaiting the response. They've asked why, and I said I wanted to go to a team with more passion. Fingers crossed. Well, Carl, if you do get your move, let us know first so we can break it here for you. And good luck with your move. And we hope you enjoy not playing.
Yeah.
Up, Carl.
And don't forget to injure Haaland in the warm-up or in the practice session, you know?
Yeah, give him a kick in the ankles.
Yeah. Agent Carl, good luck, sir. We've got Mick Hammock, big up Mick. Harmlock, big up. He says, big up ELLY, PHILLIP and Dermot. Alex Hilton.
Hello, Mick.
Gil to Viliazzi has collapsed. Yes, that is true. We'll go into that in a minute. And we've got
he's
Lisa.
too skinny.
Good afternoon, Lisa. Good afternoon to all. ELLY, you look so
hello, Lisa.
Yeah, it makes me and PHILLIP look like we're just two part-timers, really. We've got the professional.
Yeah, I'm full-time, these two are part-time. Typical men, isn't it?
I'm going to have to get the proper headgear now. I
don't have headgear like that. You know.
Yeah, I could get you one. Don't worry. I'll post it to Ireland, Wexford.
I've actually got one here, ELLY. It's just really plugging it together. Mick says, good afternoon, Lisa. Carl says, nice. We'll do, Dermot. And then we've got down here. Loan deal off, guys. Conte just asked me to play right wing back this season. Good man, Carl. So can we blame you for last night's second half performance then? Yeah. So we're blaming Carl. It was Carl's fault.
Yeah, Carl, get your act together.
Yeah. Right. We're going to go through some of the latest bits and pieces. I'm looking. I've got my phone next to me. I've got Sky Sports News on. I've got the can of Coke drink next to me. I'm prepared for the full hole. we've got this one first. We might as well start with it, guys. Christian Romero signs a new 5-year contract with Tottenham. We've got him for 45 million. I'll start with you, Philip. Are you pleased we've actually signed him for 5 years?
Yeah. I mean, it could turn out to be one of the best signings we've made in recent years. I mean, the guy has proved what a beast he is. What an absolute, brilliant defender he can be. And we've missed him badly in the last 3 matches. So great to see him sign up. He signed with a smile on his face, which is bad news for any centre forwards that come his way over the next few months. And I can play out with it from the back. He's a ball-playing centre half, which is what we need.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want a guy who just hoofs the ball up the pitch and hopes for the best. He will bring it out and open up our play, which was sadly lacking in last night, especially in the second half. So great move, great news, great centre back, and keep feeding him the raw meat before the matches.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
We've actually got a bit of breaking news. Tottenham are actually in pole position to sign Martins from Monaco. So watch this space. We could be getting them in before the window shuts. Ellie, going through our other signings we've bought this season, of course, with Charlison, Basuma, and Judd Spence, this young lad who we've sent back to Udinese, Perisic and Foster, and possibly 1 or 2 today. For you, who's been your best summer signing?
I would say Richarlison, because whenever he's come on, he's made a difference. He puts himself about the boy. He creates havoc. He's like nasty as well with it, and I like that nastiness in him because it's not a horrible, like I'm going to kill you nasty. It's like I might kill you in a minute nasty. And I like the way he gets about, and he's got very strong and he's powerful runner. I didn't realise. I knew he was fast, but he's faster than I thought he was. All right, so I'll give it to Richarlison. Yeah.
And also we have Chris Simpson said, I've also heard rumours from someone I know in the game that we're in for talisman as well. So you never know.
Cool.
Philip, are you pleased with that?
I'd crawl to Leicester over broken glass on my hands and knees to get that fella.
Yeah.
He is especially the fact that the scum was supposed to be in for him. Tielemans would be an absolutely class act. He's in his last year of his contract, so he should be available at a reasonable enough money.
Mm-hmm.
If we got him, I literally would not listen to any complaints about our transfer window, because that would be an absolutely brilliant signing.
Mm-hmm. And big up the Hotspur, big up Hotspur Hood. I actually coached one of your shows the other night. Really enjoyed really enjoyed your show. So big up, lads.
Yeah.
Big up. So, and we've got Carl Simpson saying to Alex, Taji, I think this is a joke. Here we go. Spurs have struck a deal to sign Leonardo Di Mario for the fee of region of 30 million. Yeah, well.
Did we not signing him about 10 years ago?
Yeah. So all these are starting to come out.
He's retired now, and nobody told Levin.
No. With the outgoings, Philip, I mean, we've got Mr. Burger King out, we've got the Salsa out, Regulon's gone out. There's a lot of people I've been hearing, especially on Twitter, saying Paratici, it's not the Don like everyone thinks he is. What have you made about summer transfer window now it's coming to a close?
I'm relatively happy with it, because we did. You see, the problem with the reason we're not getting the full benefit of the transfer window now is we've done it so early. If we had signed all those players in the last 2 weeks, like we normally do, they'd be saying, "Oh, great! What a brilliant transfer window." The fact that these players were brought in 2 months ago, and now now there's been a bit of a lull, apart from the Destiny guy that's gone back to Udinese. There's been a bit of a lull, and people are saying, "Oh, we didn't sign a central midfielder, we didn't sign a fullback or a centre back." We may still do that, although I think the centre back is looking very, very dodgy now at the moment. Yeah, I think it's been a good window, and the fact that the 4 players that Conte put out to grass to train with by themselves are now off the books. And you omitted the famous one there, Dermot, Harry Winks.
Yeah.
So the four that were the non-productive players basically have now gone at a saving of probably about 500-600 grand a week to the club. So I think that's a great bit of business. If we can sign Tielemans, I'd be happy as Larry. If we can sign Ziyech from Chelsea, I'd be even more happy. If we sign Dan James, I'll probably go and put my head down the toilet because we don't need him. We've got
well, he's going to Fulham.
He's
going to Fulham now.
Let him go to Fulham. Because Hill is staying, which I'm delighted for Hill. I think Hill is a player who's got a future with us, and I'm delighted he's staying. But Tielemans is the one I would love to get. Really, really, really would, because he would be the creative link between the midfield and the forwards. You know. So.
I found this other bit of news today, Ellie, when I was looking around for getting news before the show starts. Watford have terminated the contract of Danny Rose.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, would you take Danny Rose back on a sort of pay-as-you-play sort of contract just to give us cover on the fullback sort of side?
That's a hard one to call because we don't know what his fitness levels. I mean, why would Watford let him go? He's probably let him get self go a little bit physically, put on a bit of weight. I've seen him in pictures, so you know what? I don't think the club would have him back because of the toxicity that he created. That's why they put him in the under-23s. Although I suppose he's still got a bit to offer, I don't think he's going to be the same Danny Rose as we know. So, I wouldn't take him back. No,
that's fair.
There's better players, younger players out there.
Yeah. Philip, Daniel James is on his way to Fulham after them agreeing the deal. I am so over the moon that deal didn't go through.
If we'd have bought Daniel James, it would have been a revolution, I think, because it's Jack Clark Volume 2, basically.
Yeah.
You know? Pardon me, I have a bit of a cold here. What were we saying there? Yeah. What were we talking about? Sorry. Danny Rose. Yeah, Danny Rose.
Danny Rose as well,
burnt his bridges. No, I mean, much as we love Danny Rose, especially for the goal he scored against Arsenal in his debut, he's not as a player. Carl's making a good point there. He could well come back coaching the youth setup because we've got a very strong team down there with Yaya and Jermaine Defoe. So he'll not come back as a player. Now, he may have a couple of years left in him as a player. He may go to a lower league team. But Danny is that rare breed. He's an intelligent footballer. I don't mean that in a disparaging way. He's very articulate and he talks well. And sometimes that doesn't go down with the managers because most footballers will just agree with everything the manager tells them to do. Danny Rose has a mind of his own, and he didn't like something, he'll just say it and disagree. So from that point of view, he's burnt his bridges with Tottenham. But I wish him well in the future, and I would like to see him back at the club because he served us very well for a number of years, and he was one of the best left backs in the country for a long time.
Yeah, very, very true, Philip.
Dermot.
Where's our Dermot gone? So Philip, who would you like to see come in? Which is your star player? If you could have two players, because we're looking for probably two, who would you choose?
Well, as I said, Tielemans is the main one. I'm probably clutching at straws there. We probably won't get anywhere near him, but I'd love to see Tielemans come in. And I guess I would still love to see a centre back coming in, but I can't see that happening now because we're not being linked with anybody that I can see. Tielemans, yes, and Ziyech would be another one. Either or those two. I think Ziyech is a good player.
I'll agree with you on that because those two can bring the ball out. They can play football. They're intelligent footballers, pass well, and they can score goals as well. Exactly. So they'll be a very good addition to our side.
If you think back to the 2019 semi against Ajax, I mean, Ziyech almost destroyed us that night. He really did.
I know. He destroyed us with that.
So if he can reproduce that sort of form for us, like he was wasted at Chelsea because they just didn't use him right.
He didn't use him.
Ziyech could be a really good addition to the squad. Imagine having him coming off the bench, 15 minutes to go against a tired defence.
I think the thing is, if we outscore the teams and with Romero and Longley coming in, I think we'll be all right with just Dyer in the middle. Even though I don't like Dyer, everybody knows that I don't particularly like Dyer. I'll give him a hard time. He can play in the middle and he'll be protected by the two boys that can actually play. and all he has to do is hold. And really, what we're doing at the moment with Sanchez and Davies, they're just passing to one another and not progressing the ball upwards.
Yeah,
and they're not finding our midfielders to progress it either. They're just passing it, or they'll pass it back to Lloris. And we know that Lloris is pretty suspect at kicking, which was proved yesterday.
It's the only
he
weak
nearly
point.
put us in a pickle.
It's the only weak point in Hugo's game is his foot. Like if Hugo Lloris had the footballing, passing ability of Alisson or the City goalkeeper, then he'd be the world beater.
Yeah.
But I have to say, every time that ball's passed back to Hugo Lloris, I close my eyes.
I know. Really I panicked. He looked nervous as well.
Like,
doesn't he, Philip? He looked nervous.
Yeah. I mean, shot stopping, crosses, everything. He's brilliant. But that is a weak point in his game. And unfortunately, he's probably too old to rectify that at this stage. So.
Yeah, very true. I saw the boy Isaac score against Liverpool. I really wanted him.
Great
Fantastic goal. And he scored again, but it was disallowed. What a great goal he scored.
Liverpool, it's play on to Liverpool score time last night. I mean, there should have been 5 minutes of injury time. They played 9 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll score in the 8th.
I know. That's like, it's not Fergie time anymore. It's Klopp time.
Klopp put such pressure. I was watching a bit of that last night. Klopp puts pressure on the fourth official. He's in his ear every time something happens. I thought the guy had a heart attack last night, the way he was jumping up and down, But and then goes up there to the cop at the end.
Official, I'd give him a punch. Get right in his shiny white teeth.
No, I think what should happen there is the manager should not be allowed near the fourth official.
No.
He should have a little box. If the manager comes into that, it's a yellow card.
Yeah, I agree with you, Philip.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I just had the boss on the phone, Daniel Levy. He's thinking of making a few signings, but he's not sure who to go. So he actually asked me to ask Philip who she would go, so I told him. So he's gone back to talk to Paratici now, to get a few done.
Right.
Conte's in the background. I can hear Conte shouting, banging the table. Get me Talisman in. Get me that Martinson from Monaco. And, and Levy's tied up in the corner, apparently gagged and banned and everything. But look, we will see.
Dermot, did he ask you to get the spare key out for the checkbook?
No, he brought a safe cracker in, so they've broken into his safe to get the checkbook.
Yeah,
guys, this one here, Tottenham Hotspur may now bid to sign Monaco winger Gleeson Martins. I haven't heard too much of them about him, so don't really watch a lot of French football. Philip, have you heard much of him or?
Not up to about an hour ago. No, to be honest with you. Again, I don't watch much French football because I think it's pretty much substandard. And the fact that every player we brought in from France, bar Hugo Lloris, has been pretty much not great when you think about it. I'm thinking of one particular. Now, gracing the boat.
Woolwich got all the best French men, didn't they? Woolwich.
Yeah.
They had the best French manager and best French players.
You got the wrong.
We've got Carl Simpson. Carl Simpson, he's actually a good player and would be useful.
There you go.
Look, we all know we need a centre back. I mean, do you think, honestly, Philip, we will get one in today?
No,
can you see us getting one in today?
I've been advocating that for the last week. I said we'll get a centre back. We'll get a centre back, but I'm afraid for whatever reason, and I'm not blaming Paratici or Levy on this one because I mean, some fans seem to think that buying a player is like going shopping in Tesco. You pick up the trolley, you walk around, you pick a player off the shelf, put him in the trolley, and go to checkout. It's not quite as simple as that. You've got agents to deal with. You've got clubs saying, "Oh, it's Tottenham, mate. It's Tottenham looking for our player. Let's put the price up $5 million." A lot of things like that. They might not want to come. There's image rights. There's absolutely everything that can scupper a transfer. So I think we've tried. We haven't succeeded, but I do hope that we do get one in January. Okay, saying that, we have succeeded in getting Romero signed up, which is a bonus. We haven't waited for the loan deal to finish. We just signed him up now. So I'm disappointed we didn't get a centre back, but the fact that Tanganga is still in the club is a bit of a, not a huge bonus, but he's there if we need him. And this start last season, Tanganga was a decent player. I was him to play for England last year. So, he hasn't gone downhill that far in 12 months.
No.
So he's there if we need him. Is he better than Davis or Dyer? Who knows? Throw him in and see how he gets on in some of the cup competitions, But I'm disappointed we haven't signed. Bastoni would have been the one everybody wanted, but I'm afraid that's not going to happen. But there's hope. There's 6 hours left, so there's hope.
I mean, Ellie, you look at Fulham. They've bought William today as well. They got what's his name? He used to play for us. Vinicius, who used to play for us as well.
Vinicius,
and they're going for Daniel James. You look at Chelsea; they've spent well. They're buying in that ex-Arsenal striker in today as well.
Yeah,
What are we just looking for a certain type of player at Tottenham, or is it we're trying to spend the money wisely so we don't overspend? Or why are we doing it differently, like to a Chelsea or a Fulham? Why are we just different?
I just feel that Conte's more particular about what sort of players he wants at the club. I think they're going to be looking at their running record, their stats, their overall stats. They'll do it like the Liverpool way. They won't just get anybody in, right? So they've looked at Basuma, they've looked at Richarlison, they fancied him. They've looked at Adama, they fancy him. Whether we get him or not, that's another question. This Gelson, I don't know a lot about, but obviously the club have scouted him and been looking at him. That's why his name's cropped up. But I think we're being more careful with our money, I think, because we've made big mistakes in the past. Big mistakes, like horrendous ones. So we don't want to get it wrong. So with Conte at the helm, he's saying which players he wants, and then the club will bring in one or two of their own choice. We've seen it already with Udogie, who's been loaned back, and who's the other one? And I can't think of the other one now.
Well, can I just stop you there, Ellie? There is some breaking news. Fulham have now just signed William on a free transfer. So
William, the boy who was at Arsenal,
not at Chelsea.
The boy that was signing for us went to sign for Chelsea instead.
That's the other one.
So he deserves. I say William deserves a nice response when he turns up on Saturday. Let's give him the bird because
you know what? I think that's a waste of money because that Arsenal, he wasn't fit. He was carrying weight. I don't think he would have shaped up wherever he was. And I think he's lost a bit of pace. I don't know. I think that's a bit of a risk.
Well, it doesn't bother me. He signed for Fulham, so
Fulham are signed right, left, and centre here. They signed about 4 players today.
Yeah, they have.
So they're hardly going to be gelled in to play us on Saturday.
With 5 hours now and 56 minutes left at the transfer window, can you see us getting anyone in, or do you think it's just going to be, if we do get them, it would be a loan to buy? Do you think it'd be the same like with Thfc and Bentacle? Do you think it's going to end up being like that, Philip?
Probably, it probably will, because there's probably not time to get a full agreement for a complete transfer done at this stage. It probably will be a loan to buy or an option to buy, which I don't mind as long as the player involved is something that we need. Like I don't want to see a sort of a let's placate the fans by buying the next available player type of transfer. Conte gave Levy a shopping list, Paratici a shopping list, and in the most part, it's been fulfilled. It just hasn't quite been done. And it's difficult to do it all in one transfer window. So we've got to give him a bit of credit that he's done as much as he's done. Because I hear fans saying, we haven't improved our squad. I mean, let's face it, we've signed Foster, a proven goalkeeper. Basuma, an absolute baller of a midfielder. Perisic, world-class player. Jed Spence, one for the future. I could go on. We have strengthened the squad. Now, the fact that Conte chosen to use them to any great extent yet is a plan. I keep using this cake analogy that I used, that he's making the cake here. He's putting one ingredient in at a time. And it's only when all the ingredients are mixed together that the perfect cake comes out of the oven. And it will happen, and it will happen over the next few matches. Because let's face it, look at the schedule we've got from now until the World Cup. 2 matches a week, every week. 3 some.
Yeah.
So that's why there's gonna be rotation, and I can see the rotation starting on Saturday, and I would not be a bit surprised to see Harry Kane or Son rested against Fulham.
Yeah.
And Richarlison to come in, and I would love to see Jed Spence get a run out. Because so enough of him against Forest, and that guy is like road runner going up the wing there.
I know.
That's what we need.
Yeah, I mean the Hotspur big up. Thank you for joining us. Says I don't think anyone's coming in, unfortunately. Well, look, even if nobody comes in, for me, it's been a good window. It's not been brilliant, but it's been good. If you look how we were last season, no manager, we were the laughing stock of the European football. For how many managers did we speak to? Our transfer policy was non-existent because Paratici had to clear up the mess made by Hitchin. Yeah. Let's look at this logically. Hitchin made a complete mess. Paratici's had to come in and clear up that mess. We've had to got Nuno. To be fair, Nuno was only there as an advertisement for garden gnomes. To get out the bar to B&Q and get your garden gnome for your garden. We then got Conte in. We've had to get rid of all the dead wood, and I think we bought very wisely from last January and this summer transfer window. So before everyone gets on this Levy out wagon and we're not good in the transfer market, we're not spending money. You don't have to spend big money to have a good team. And Conte is not a checkbook manager. He doesn't spend big money. He's turned some very average players into into brilliant players. So look, I think this has been a good window. Ellie, do you agree with what I said, or is there anything you would like to?
I agree with the majority of the stuff. But the only thing I wanted was a centre back, but they didn't get the one they wanted. They didn't get their second choice or third choice. So what do? Do they settle for fourth, fifth, sixth, or seventh choice and waste money? Well, what they have to do is get on that training ground. This is where Conte's going to earn his big bucks, right? He's got to get on that training ground and drill this defence and get them passing. Get them passing quickly, not slow and deliberate like we've been seeing. So that's where he's going to earn his crust. Also, I want to see Longley come in. Because I'm seeing him on the bench and I'm thinking, this boy can pass the ball. He can progress the ball. So we want to see him. I want to see Jed Spence come in instead of Emerson. Although Emerson has done well, offensively he hasn't. He's tried the boy, but he just hasn't got it in his locker to do all the things that Jed Spence can do and bring to our side. And people are going to be very, very shocked how good this boy is. Because everybody's thinking, he might not be Premiership quality. I'm telling you, this boy is the real deal. He can play. He can pass. He's quick. You saw in that 5-6 minute cameo, he nearly scored and he done a fantastic block. And he's got so much energy. He wants to prove himself. That's what you want. You want a player with hunger that wants to prove himself. And Jed Spence, he will. I'm telling you, he'll be a sensation. Once he gets his break, he won't let the side down. Just put it that way.
Philip, just staying away from Tottenham for a minute. I'm just looking at Fabrizio Romero's sort of Twitter page as I'm talking to you, but so I'm trying to get all the latest news for everyone that's watching. Frankie De Jong is going to stay at Barcelona. I mean, are you surprised that deal hasn't gone through, or do you think?
Well,
it was never going to go through anyway.
If somebody owed me 17 million, I wouldn't be leaving them either.
No, that's true.
Because that's the whistle good night if you left. If he leaves Barcelona, he'll never see that money. So it just shows you what shape Barcelona are in at the minute when they owe that sort of wages to a guy like De Jong, who fair dues him, has stuck to his ground and isn't going to move anywhere.
No.
But I think De Jong will be a great signing for someone who gets now. And no doubt maybe in January he probably will move on somewhere,
Yeah.
But as long as he can pick up his money in the meantime. there's a good point there about Simon. Carl saying about Simon Phillips has said Spurs definitely have a chance to sign Ziyech before 11 p.m. That one keeps.
That might be the goer.
And see, the good thing about this is under Abramovich, Chelsea wouldn't have sold us a cold cup of tea.
No.
But the new chairman apparently is friendly with Daniel Levy, and in fact wanted to buy Spurs. And there's a good relationship between the two of them. So I think we've now got a great chance of maybe taking Ziyech from Chelsea, whereas we would never have done this time last year. So here's hoping, that we do. Now, whether he wants to come to Spurs, I think he will, because he's been treading water at Chelsea. He hasn't been doing anything spectacular. So I think he would be a great addition to our squad. He really would.
Yeah. Because every footballer wants to play at the end of the day, don't they? They don't want to be on the bench.
No.
Even if he starts on our bench, he will make an impression, that boy, because he's very, very good. Technically fantastic, got a fantastic shot. You saw the goal that he scored against us last season, and he terrorised us in that semi-final in the Champions League. But we're lucky Lucas Moura came up with a hat-trick and got us out of the mire.
Can you imagine Ziyech, say 15 minutes to go, we're losing 1-0. Ziyech comes on. He's gone bombing down the left and Kulusevski bombing down the right. Enough to scare any defense,
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Ellie, your thoughts on Bryan Hill is no longer joining Valencia as the deal has now collapsed itself. Are you happy that he's staying at Spurs? And do you see Conte now going to start to use him and use him in the first team?
I'm very happy because I see a lot of fans don't see a lot in him, but I do. I was a midfielder, right? And I used to play right wing as well, right? You have to create pockets of space. You have to be intelligent, like Kulu does, like Perisic does. He will learn from these two players as well. So we're going to nurture him. He's going to be learning from the coaching staff. They'll look after his weight. They'll look after his fitness. Because actually, his fitness is very good at the moment, because in the pre-season, he was beating everybody. He was actually beating everybody. So even though he's physically not ready, I think we can build him up, right? Get him to that standard where he can shirk off a tackle, because that's all he needs, because he's getting bullied off the ball by bigger defenders. All right, so I think he's going to be one for the future. He probably play in the lesser games, I would imagine. So it'd be useful to have him. And like, if we're getting stuck and we've got a lot of injuries, it's useful to have a player like him, because he's an intelligent player. I like him. He reminds me of a Modric, the way he moves. But he obviously is not as good as Modric yet, because he's still young. Modric at his age weren't as good as he is now, or as good as he was when we were at Spurs the first time we got him. So players learn. I think he is a genuine footballer. He loves playing football, you can tell. He just needs a little bit of encouragement from our crowd when he comes on, and he'll be all right. I like him.
Well, with the transfer deadline going on, we're gonna park that for a little bit. Any breaking news, we will be jump starting it. I want to go back to the West Ham game last night.
Okay.
And we'd love to get your thoughts, because I know, Philip, you're going to be jumping in and out, and so are you, Ellie. And IZHAN was supposed to be here. I don't know where IZHAN is. Bless him. He's probably
he's got shopping for his mother again.
He probably has. So what we will be putting the link into the community section to let the subscribers come on for 10 or 15 minutes and have your say, and then you'll have, it's sort of like a fan show, but it's not a fan show. It's to get your opinions on the game last night and the transfer window, and then but you're only on for about 10-15 minutes, and then we'll have more guests coming on. I think Shawnee's going to try to pop on. I think Dave or Jack is going to pop on for the hour shots per. And we've got a few other people jumping on and off, so we will be here till 11:30 tonight. So look, we hope you can stay us for the whole stream, and it'd be great. Guys, I'll start with you, Philip. This was the team last night. Let me so it doesn't go across. So it doesn't stop that. So it doesn't go across the screen. There we go. That was the starting lineup last night. Do you want to go through your player ratings and just give each player a mark for what you saw of the match? Because I know you had to go out last night, but give your player ratings of.
I'll confess, I saw the first half, which is reasonably okay, but I had a function to go to at 9 o'clock, so I couldn't see the second half. And to be honest with you, I saw so many negative comments when I came home. I didn't watch the second half. So I'm really only commenting on half the game because I felt it appears we didn't do ourselves justice in the second half at all. So I reckon I should have put myself through that. So I suppose it's difficult enough to give a full breakdown of scores for what people did. Lloris, 6. I mean, his footwork was not good. Right, never is, but was worse last night. Sanchez again didn't do a lot wrong from what I saw, so I'll give him a 6. I'm not going to give anybody more than 7. That's probably the best way of putting it.
Yeah,
I think Perisic maybe deserves a 7. Unfortunately, I thought Højbjerg was badly caught out of their goal. I think he wasn't paying attention to what I saw of it in the replays. But then again, if the referee had done his job, which he didn't, it was a foul throw. It should never have been allowed. The ball should be back for a throw to Spurs. And again, we were the penalty decision in the first half. If that was at Anfield or Old Trafford, that's a penalty. But it's Stuart Atwell. It's another VAR decision gone against us. So let's say I'll give a blanket 6 to the whole team, and that's based on the fact that I can't really comment too much on the second half. I'll give a more offensive, more descriptive scoring after Fulham on Saturday, which we'll be watching in full. So, let's just say it's West Ham's cup final. We went there and didn't lose, which is probably the most positive thing we can say about the night, because we've lost there the last couple of years. And maybe we rode our luck a little bit last night, but sure, that's it. We're riding our luck in a few games. And when we start playing, God help whoever we're playing.
Yeah.
And let's hope it's Fulham on Saturday.
I mean, big up Leo for the Mile High Hotspur. Big up Leo. We'll get to you in a minute, sir.
Hello,
I'll just
Leo.
then I get to you, sir, and we'll get your thoughts on the game. Before you go to you, Ellie. Leo, thoughts on transfer deadline day? What's it like in America? Do you know how you're getting your results over there? Is it live on telly, or how you're getting your news? And can you see somebody sign? Can you see us signing somebody today? We're in for. I'll just give you just a little bit of an update. Where did I put it now? Where did I see it now? We're in for the Chelsea player.
ZH.
I can't remember where I put it. Yeah, we're in for him. What's your thoughts quickly in the transfer deadline day?
Yeah, so first of all, what's up to you guys? Philip, Ellie, Dermot, big up to you guys.
Yeah, hello.
A little change of scenery.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's an hour later than what I'm used to. I'm actually in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin today. So I've been on an airplane all morning long. I really haven't had too much chance to look at the transfer speculations. I just seen you guys were on. I remembered you guys were going to be on, so I hopped in the shower real quick, got ready, and come to support my homies. But look, you guys. I'm getting my news from you guys. I'm getting my news from, I did a little round on Twitter. I did a little round on Instagram. I'm getting my news from you guys. Over here, transfer deadline day is not really big up Pierogi. It's not really they don't make it what you guys make it out there, you know what I mean? And that sucks for people like me that want to know everything about other clubs, that want to know everything about our club. Look, you guys, about ZH, I would totally welcome him through the door. He's one of those players for me that I can't stand because he wears the wrong color. But if he comes to Lily White, I would definitely I'd be the first one to welcome him to the lane. I don't know who else we're linked with. I think we were linked with a wing back from Monaco. I don't know the name.
Martins,
Gelson Martin.
I mean, It sounds better than Dan James. I mean, I was never really a big fan of him. James
No.
Joris, what's up, brother? I'm not really that
Yeah.
so I'm not a fan of him. I just seen a comment, sorry, about going to the yeah, after I get done with you guys, I'm gonna go get lost here in Milwaukee and just go walk around. But
Yeah.
you guys, how much
It's a
time is
nice
left in the
place.
window? About like a good 12 hours?
There's 5 hours and 40 minutes and
Oh, see.
55 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys, is that even enough time to send a fax?
What's the fax?
Yeah, what is a fax?
You know,
Leo,
usually it breaks down to the fax machine wasn't working, so the deal didn't go through.
He's
Leo,
used that excuse a few times. Can't use it anymore, you know.
No, Leo, I'll get back to you in a minute, sir.
No, you're not
Yes,
going to
sir.
go and get involved with what made Milwaukee famous. It's the Coors breweries there, isn't it?
The breweries,
Milwaukee.
yes, sir. I look forward to that. Real quick, Dermot, I'm here for an event for the Milwaukee Spurs. I'm gonna come join
nice.
and gather with more Spurs fans. You guys, you know, they're having a Cream City cruise tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. I'm sorry, and so yeah, I come support Spurs. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Just come support other Spurs clubs.
Right.
Just want to say big up to Tom, big up to Pedro, big up to James Joyce. Joy, I hope I pronounced your surname right, sir. And Corey Boy, Stephen Cartwright, big up to them. And Ellie showed me something on her phone. What you showing, Ellie?
Milwaukee Spurs on the Spurs website. Can you see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Milwaukee Spurs.
There you
See?
go.
Come on.
Big up to just heard Deji's having the medical at Fulham and breathe.
Whew.
Right, we can breathe now. We can relax. Spurs fans, he isn't coming. Yes. Right, Ellie.
Their chairperson is Mark McGill.
Yeah, right. Ellie, you watched the game with us last night. I mean, what was your play ratings from Luis to Son? Go on.
Oh, God. Right, I'll give Luis a 4 because his distribution, passing out with his feet was atrocious and he looked very nervous. I can't give him more than a 4. Sanchez, I'll give a 6 because he had a solid game. Dyer a 5. Davis a 6. Emerson, I'll give him a 7 because he played quite well. Højbjerg, for his first half performance, 7. The second half performance, because he was injured, I'll give him a 5. Basuma a 5. He was atrocious.
You traitor, Ellie.
Was that fault for the goal as well, by the way, highlighted by Sky Sports? He was half asleep. Perisic, I'll give him a 7. Kulu, I'll give a 7 because he did do some good stuff. Kane, I'll give a 6. Son, I'll give a 6.
Do you know what, Shawnee? That's the funniest thing I've heard all day. You just come in nice and quietly. Traitor, Ellie.
Traitor, Ellie. Ellie Basuma Højbjerg over there. No, Queen Ellie Basuma, I'm going to call you from
Well, he was good in the first half until he got injured by Rice, and then he should have come off.
Can I just say something? Ellie, can I just say something? Rice is a traitor. We put him all the way through our under-21s, under-23s, and everything. He's a traitor. Don't get me started on
Declan Rice was a youth, wasn't he?
Yeah, he played for Ireland. He went to all the Ireland youth and under.
Oh, you mean Ireland under 23s? I thought you were talking about Tottenham under 23s.
No.
I was going to say what?
Well, his name's Declan, so it gives it away that he's Irish.
Yeah. Can I just say we are welcomed by a Spurs legend. This man is a YouTube legend. His reputation precedes him. He is one of the best on YouTube.
Who's in the background? Who's coming on?
Who's
that's Philip. It's already on.
You know what? I'm only been in 14 minutes and this has been a long stream. I've got another 5 hours to go yet.
I know. I thought I'd catch you at the start before. I've only got like 15 minutes because I've got to get ready for my thing. I'm doing my thing with Dave a little bit later on. But I wanted to come on and say hello to everybody.
Hello.
And,
do you know what, Sean?
If
you see me at 5'11", you see me going like this, you know that I've actually Spurs have signed nobody, and I'm just going to sit here and have an empty screen.
I know, mate. Listen,
Sean, have you got Levy's checkbook in your desktop?
Yeah, I got it somewhere. Yeah,
you've got it, haven't you? Yeah, I knew it.
That's who the safe cracker was. It was Sean. Sean, the safe cracker, Levy's checkbook. There we go. Shawnee, enjoyed your stream this morning. You did with Adam. Really loved it. It was a great show.
I enjoyed it as well, actually. Yeah, it was fun. Thanks, mate.
Look, can I have your play ratings from the team last night? Just go through the team. Just get your play ratings. I know you gave them already, but I'm sure people who missed your show, please get over there and rewatch it again, and like and subscribe Sean's channel. What was your play rating, sir, from last night?
Just quickly, is it Leo? Is it Leo?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Leo. How you doing, my man? I have met you briefly before, buddy, but I wanted to say hello, man. I love your channel, man. I always watch it when I wake up in the morning because you stream a little bit late.
Yes,
for me,
sir.
So I catch it.
Pick up, man.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. I'm a subscriber.
Thank you, bro.
Best wishes for the channel, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
My ratings essentially ranged from like 5 to 6 for pretty much everyone. Hello, Philip.
Hi, Sean.
How you doing, my man? Yeah, good, buddy. The only people that I gave outside of that 5 to 6 range, I gave a lower rating for Lloris. And it was a hard one for me because Lloris was he was good defense. Like he made a couple of good punches away in the first half, but you just can't get away with that distribution. It's like it's so bad. Not only did it cost us, like it didn't directly but indirectly cost us the first goal, but also just like he had like I think it was 28% or 30. I looked at it earlier. I forget now, but like 30% long ball distribution accuracy. It's just not. It's not okay, man. The guy's at 38, 39 years old. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't teach an old Lloris how to kick, and it's a massive problem because I'm talking about this in a little while. Actually, I didn't speak about it with Adam, but I actually want to give a lot of, even though I hate it through gritted teeth, a lot of credit to David Moyes. I think his tactics last night were absolutely spot on. Doing the high press, but only pressing our left side, right? Only pressing our left side so that Sanchez, Dyer, and Lloris were caught doing triangles around our box, trying to find space. And Antonio, Declan Rice, Fornals, etc., Souček, they were all pressurizing down that way. And if you look at the passes that happen as a consequence from the back three, the guy who's got the best passing accuracy is Ben Davies. And in a game where you're getting pressed, you want that guy to be the guy who's passing the most. But in terms of touches, Dyer and Sanchez had like 120 touches each. And Davies only had like 65, like so 50% fewer touches. And that's because of David Moyes' tactics. So you got to give a bit of credit to the tactics there. But yeah, generally speaking, I thought that Lloris was poor underneath the 5 to 6 barrier. And the only people I gave above 6 was Perisic and Emerson. I thought and Decky. Sorry, I thought I gave Decky a 6.5 because I thought his little. I thought Emerson played relatively well. What's that?
You froze for a second.
You froze for a minute there, Sean.
You mentioned Emerson.
I mean, Sean. Romero coming back in to actually bring the ball out.
Yeah, Romero, we need Romero so much.
Romero.
Yeah.
We need Romero
Sean,
so much. Yeah.
I mean, I bring you in this now, Leo, as well. For me, the man of the first half was Perisic. I thought he was brilliant first half. I'll start with you, Sean, and then I go around. I mean, how impressed have you been with Perisic since he signed for us?
Brilliant going forward, but the consequences of the
Okay.
Sean is waving at us.
Mr. Right. Butler is frozen.
Yeah. Right, Leo, we'll go to you. Perisic.
Look, I think Perisic is a great leader. If I may, one thing I will say about Perisic, and I don't know if you guys were able to pick this up watching the game, right before they scored that goal, the ball had went out of bounds, and Perisic kind of got the whole team's attention. Like I think he's Conte's boy, so a lot of people really look at him like I say this with all due respect as the teacher's pet. They look at him like he's the next one in charge, basically, but underneath of Conte as far as the players go. So he did this thing where he had his hands up and he was like shouting at the team, and West Ham capitalized on that quick, and they took that ball into Mikel Antonio. I don't want to say it was Perisic's fault, but Perisic got the whole team's attention, and everybody got caught watching Perisic and forgot about the ball coming into play. So I don't know if you guys caught that or not. That was something that I noticed about that, and so it shows that they listen to Perisic a lot. But that's only going to come with seat time. Perisic being on that side and playing more Premier League games and knowing that he can't be doing that type of crap when the ball's going to be playing in because. I hope you guys could go back and watch it to see what I'm talking about because for some reason, at the split second that they showed it, like that's just kind of what captured my attention. But you guys, Paris is a beast. I like him. Just to piggyback off of what Sean was saying, going forward, he's definitely really good. And it's not like he lacks anything defensively. He's really defensively sound as well. It's just if you're gonna pick one of the two, he's definitely more suited on the attack than he is on the defense side of the ball.
And quickly, Leo, your play ratings for the team last night?
Yeah, let me see here. I got him down here. I again to piggyback off of what Shawnee was saying, I didn't rate anybody that high. I got Hugo with the 5, Sanchez with the 6, Dyer with the 5, Davies with the 6. Royale I had with the 6, maybe a 5. Højbjerg, I'm sorry, the first half he did really good, but the second half, again, this is Conte's fault. He should have took him off. Yeah, he should have took him off. So I gave him a 5. Basuma, I hate to say it, I gave him a 5. Ivan Perisic, besides that little bobble that he had, I would have went with a 7, but I gave him a 6. Decky is the only one I'll give a firm 7, just because he was unlucky to get subbed off. I don't want to really go into who I thought should have came off, and I'll give Sonny a low 5.
Okay. For me, very quickly, I'll give Luis a 5 because he did some good saves, but his feet was him passing out to the back. He cannot do it. For me, Sanchez, Dyer again, and Davis again. I'll give them all a 6, but they let us down again and again and again. I'm not going to go into this rant again, but they really do let us down. We really miss Romero. Emerson, I'll give a 6, a 7, because I thought he had a good game going forward. I thought he was at fault. I think we nearly scored once where he didn't see the West Ham player coming in, but the back of him, he wasn't looking at his surroundings. But I will give him a 7. Højbjerg, I'll give him a 7 for the first half performance, but he was injured. So I'll give him a 6 for his second half performance. Basuma, for me, was awful last night. I mean, we said it in the watch along. Me and IZHAN both said he played very poorly, got booked. So I'll give him a 5. Perisic, for me, was man of the match in the first half. Them crosses are to die for. And I think once, I mean, there was a few crosses in, so I'll give him a 6. Kuvaziski, a 6. Kane, I'll give a 6. And Sonny, I give a 6 because he did try. But I think he will be dropped for the Fulham game. Richarlison will come in, and I think you'll see a few changes for that game. Philip, I mean, to piggyback on what Shawnee said about David Moyes getting his tactics right.
Yep.
Conte only made 1 substitution.
Yeah.
For the match. Do you put that down that the players on the bench are not fully fit, or was that a as some people would think, a sort of protest to the board? I need more players. How would you look at it?
No, I don't think it's a protest to the board. I mean, there's other ways of protesting to the board, but keeping players on the pitch that maybe should have been substituted 20 minutes ago is not one of them. That's counterproductive, if you ask me. I can't understand. I don't think I've ever seen a Spurs game where only one sub has been made. I can't remember that ever happening in recent years. So it's very hard to give an idea for that. I mean, that game was crying out for subs last night in the second half. But I really do not know what Conte was thinking about. We've got to think there's a reason for it. Maybe he'll explain it at his press conference tomorrow before the Fulham game. But I'm sure he'll be asked, because I mean it is quite a pertinent point. But only to make them one sub, when you're the likes of Jed Spence aching to get on, and even Longley, I mean, I don't know. If I had to make I'm loath to criticize Conte, but I feel he deserves a black mark for not changing that team around more last night than he did.
Yeah. Big up IZHAN for joining us. Thank you. Hope you're okay. IZHAN, what's your play ratings from last night? I've got all the other guys, so from Lloris to Son, what was your play ratings?
I guess with Lloris, I'd probably give him a 5. I felt Lloris. There was a lot of really shaky moments with Lloris. His distribution was really not good. And yeah, possibly could have cost us. With Sanchez, I'd probably give him a 6. He was all right, I think. Nothing too crazy. But like I said, there were times where he was sloppy in possession. Dyer, probably also a 6. Partially responsible for the goal he scored, in my opinion. But yeah, wasn't a shocking performance or anything like that. Ben Davies, I think I'd probably also give a 6. Just, maybe even leaning towards a 5. I didn't feel he was too effective. But he was just tidy enough. Emerson gets a 7, in my opinion. I felt he was one of the better players. Didn't put much of a foot wrong, but wasn't super progressive, I feel. Højbjerg, also a 7. I feel that Højbjerg at times was one of the only ones willing to make a pass forward. Did try pretty hard, but it just wasn't enough to get the win. Bissouma, in my opinion, was the worst player on the pitch. I'd give him a 5, maybe even a 4. I feel Bissouma just kept, as soon as he got the ball, immediately passed the ball back. Got a yellow card very early on. Looked really ineffective. Never took the responsibility to carry the ball up the field. I do still think he's a good player. I like the signing, but his performance was not good. Perisic, another 7. At times, one of the only players who was somewhat creative. I feel he was fairly consistent throughout the game. Performance went down a little, but I feel Perisic was one of the only players that was, performing well. Son probably gets 5, in my opinion. Wasn't really effective throughout the game. I was surprised that Kulusevski came off instead of him. But yes, Son, his poor form continues. Kulusevski probably a 6 out of 10. There were moments where he looked good, but yeah, he also seemed a bit isolated in the game, and yeah, I guess that's what made Conte take him off. Kane, it's kind of funny because in the first half, I felt that he was dropping very deep and spraying a lot of really good passes, but in the second half, that really didn't happen. So I'd probably give Kane, probably also 6 out of 10 because in the second half, I feel his performance nosedived. But yeah, sorry for rambling on.
No, you're grand. You're grand. We understand it's early in Edmonton in Canada. It is early for IZHAN. We've had to drag him out of bed. He's been partying all night after the West Ham game last night. He's been out there trying to get, like, he's been helping Paratici try to get a few signing in. So we do know you need your sleep, IZHAN. But thank you for getting up early this morning and doing this stream all the way to 11 o'clock with me. I'm very grateful for you, and I appreciate you so much, IZHAN. So good man for that. IZHAN looks shocked now. 11 o'clock, he never told me that yesterday. Listen, I want to get through some of the comments. Philip, I think Philip has
he's got to have his dinner.
Yeah, I think Philip's gone, but we'll leave him in the background there. We'll give him thumbs up back. Guys, I want to bring some of the comments up here. And let me get up something. Corey Boy, can anyone join in tonight? We are going to do that later, Corey. We're going to give everyone 10 minutes of their time. You come on for 10 minutes. Give your thoughts on the West Ham and the window. We will be doing that later, probably about 7 or 8 o'clock. So we will be doing that.
Is that for subscribers only, Dermot? Is that for subscribers only? Is it for subscribers only? Yeah.
Subscribe family. Guys, we've got Eugene, big up Eugene for popping in. JC, look at the bench, fellas. Does it look like quality here? No IMO apart from Richarlison. The hottest Spurs says, I still think it's too early for the final verdict on our subs, new signings. Longley hasn't played. Basuma just had his first start. Richie's looking good. Perisic is good. Spence hasn't had time. I mean, that's a very sensible neverhead looking at it. Carl Simpson, right, better do a deal with the kids and we'll be back a bit when Spurs sign 3 new players, Carl. Well, big up and we look forward to seeing you back, sir. And then Alexander found Daniel Levy underground. I said the word transfer and you fell asleep. Yeah, right. Okay. And Eugene says, going to sleep soon. Wake to see us sign nothing and leave it out. Look, big up Eugene, and thanks for popping in. So it's been great. I'll start with you, IZHAN, and then I'll go to you. I'll actually start with you, Ellie. Apparently, I've just been while the lads were giving everyone their play ratings, I've been diving through the latest news for Spurs and I found this one. Now I don't know if it's true. Maybe IZHAN can give us a bit of depth for this one. Dynamo Kiev have rejected a 25 million bid for Lydia Zambubi. I've never heard of him, so I'll start with you, IZHAN. Have you heard of this player? And
IZHAN knows about this player.
Yeah. Do you want to? Who wants to go first? Ellie, you or
let IZHAN go because he knows about this player.
Go on then, IZHAN. Give us your bit on him.
So Ilya Zaberny, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Ukrainian center back. He is a very talented center back. I believe he's 19 or 20 years old, and if you play like FIFA or like Football Manager, he's like one of those players that's like a high, like super, like pretty high potential player. He's right-footed. He is quite aggressive as a player. He's very good on the ball. In terms of whether he's good enough to slot in his current state, I feel that he probably isn't, just because of his young age. He hasn't really played at a very high level, but he is a player which, the fact that he's very young, the fact that he's already a national team player, means that his ceiling is very high. And because we've made signings like Udoji and whatnot, which are ones for the future, I believe that this player could be good, could come good for us if we do sign him. Whether we put in a bid, I'm not sure. I'm not too sure myself. Not many reliable journalists have posted about it. But yeah, as a player, if you brought him in for the right fee, I wouldn't be too opposed to it.
Yeah. Leo, actually, yeah, Leo, Nottingham Forest, 19 players in. They lost last of their team because of the promotion with loads of loans and anything. Apart from Tottenham, which other team has impressed you in the summer transfer window? And I'll start with you, Leo, then I go to you, Ellie, and then to you, IZHAN. Which other team has impressed you? Now, it doesn't have to be the Premier League. It can be the whole of Europe. So which team has impressed you in the transfer deadline this summer window?
You starting with me?
I'll start with Leo, then I go to you, Ellie.
Okay.
I mean, I'll definitely. I mean, I'll stick with the first team in the Premier League. Manchester United. They've been able to get some business done. Getting Casemiro, getting in Anthony. Gosh, I mean, who else did they? They were linked with a lot
Lisandro
of people. I
Martinez.
mean,
Lisandro
yeah.
Martinez.
Yep. They had a good window. I mean, they should definitely be picking up ground soon. Let's see. Marseille got Alexis Sanchez. I know a lot of people think he's washed up, but Marseille's making some noise over there too. We play them in the Champions League. Um, um, as far as European, um, I'm just gonna answer Tom right now. Have Spurs impressed? They have. They have. We've gotten rid of a lot of dead wood. Whether that be it on loan with the option to buy. We don't have the likes of Lo Celso anymore. We don't have Reggie. We don't have Winks. We don't have Ndombele. Um, it's just the incomings that definitely. For some reason, everybody wants more, and it's just like, you guys, we have to be realistic. We've had so many players come in, not to mention the January transfer window. I know that was a last window, but it's an accumulative, like that window and this window, plus getting rid of all the deadwood. Tottenham's window has been good. It's been good. If we don't get anybody else, am I going to be upset? Of course I will, because at the end of the day, I want more people, but I'm not. I'm also not greedy. I'm also happy with who we have. It's gonna take time for our team to play cohesively better. To integrate all of our new players. I'm okay. I mean, I got much love for Brian Dago. I got much love for Eugene. And I totally get why they're Levy out, but I think, like, guys. That's who's running our club. It is what it is. He's doing what I mean, what did we expect him to break the book, to open up the checkbook and go get Erling Haaland? Would we expect him to go break the bank and go buy, the next big thing? I mean, we got to be realistic, you guys. We have to be realistic. We just have to be realistic. We got rid of so much dead wood, and we brought in 8 players. Two of them went back out on loan, right? Guys, be happy. Be happy with what we have, you guys. Support your team with whoever you have. We could have not signed anybody, but we've got so many new signings.
Look, Ellie, I read out what Brian Daigle. Look, I've got where is it? I've got an awful lot of respect for Brian Daigle. I really do, and I've known Brian for a while now, and I've got an awful lot of respect for my brother in Canada. He's a top bloke. Spent a bit of time with him when I went over to Tottenham last year, top man.
Yeah.
And he says, once again, here we are. yet again in capital letters, a summer that's promised so much and started brightly has once again ended pathetically. Another window where vital positions have not been filled, and then we all know where Brian sort of stays. Big up, Brian. Thank you for putting the comment in. And then Eugene saying Tom, same out. Corey Boy, he's saying 2 out of 10. The window has been dire. Kieran Dyer. Do you know? Your niece saying it's Spurs fans and Spurs fans are never satisfied. We will always want more, even if we sign top class players. Alex, do you know, Levy out. Corey, we've got 9 in. I don't know what you're saying, Corey. Are you unhappy with the window? And then on the other hand, it's saying we got 9 in. So do you know? Make up your sort of mind. Our loanies have no option to buy yet. Sorry, lads. Had reset the internet. We'll pop on later. Big up, Shawnee. Big up. Okay. No problem.
Yeah.
And I think this is back to you, Leo. This has happened for 22 years. Another summer being linked to big names, but only ever expressed interest. Why not put in the actual bids rather than just show interest? Again, big up Terry Wright. Big up everyone. The hot Spurs says the only fans that can be 100% satisfied is City. They're saying big up Mr. Daigle. Tom says, I'm not greedy. I want better. I mean, Ellie, look.
It's a true fact. That's true fact.
Can I just, I'll come to you in a minute, Leo. Ellie, I've been trying to stay away from all this Levy out thing. To be fair, I know it's there in the background. Big up Brian Daigle. I mean, as I said, Brian, I've got out of everyone apart from Pippino, I have an awful lot of respect for Brian Daigle. I rarely do. I think he's a top man. He's a top bloke. Yeah. Look, we all know where everyone 100%. Stands. There's a Levy outside, there's a Levy inside, and there's people in the middle. Do you know? Yeah. For me, it's been a good window. We'll just start with some breaking news actually on Tottenham buying somebody. So I don't know. Actually, let me rewind this. I just missed it. So let me start with some breaking news, Ellie.
Yeah.
Tottenham are considering a move to sign Monaco winger Gleeson Martins. So that's the latest news on that. Ellie.
Yeah.
Where do we stand in all this Levy out, Levy in, Levy in the middle, Levy dancing around the summer tree? I mean, do you know where? I mean, we've been supporting Tottenham for a long, long time. You and me both. Yeah. If we put our combines together, could be over 60 or 70 years we've been supporting Spurs.
More than that.
Will we ever be satisfied, even if we had an owner that spent 200-300 million? Would we ever be satisfied?
Let me get serious, right?
Everyone's getting serious.
Brian Daigle, correct, right? Mm-hmm. I'm a Tottenham girl. I was born and bred in Tottenham. I played for Spurs ladies. Everybody knows this, yeah? Mm. So my heart is probably more in Tottenham than people born elsewhere. I'm not saying you guys, you know, but I want the best for my club, right? So we didn't address the centre-back. We know we've got weaknesses in defence and we didn't address it. We bought Longley and we haven't played him. We bought Jed Spence as a club signing. We haven't played him only for 5 minutes and 20 minutes in the pre-season. So I want the best for our club. So I want us to be serious and get the players' positions filled, like Brian said. Get them filled. Because that'll give us a much better chance, guys, and we can compete then. Because at the moment we've got so many weaknesses in defence, and it was evident against West Ham, and West Ham are not even a top side. When we come against the better sides, we might get found out unless our strikers pull us out the mire, like they did last year against Man City when Kane scored that lovely break. You see, so we can't keep on relying on the strikers to get us out of trouble. We've got to have a solid defence as well, right? So I'm with Brian. because I feel he's coming from his heart. He wants the best for our club. I'm not saying I want Levy out totally, because he has put his money where his mouth is in certain areas, but we haven't really bought anybody of top quality. The only one I can think of is Perisic. Richarlison, not bad, but is he top quality? I don't think so. Basuma, he's more or less in the boat with Richarlison, but maybe slightly higher bar. And then we got Longley, who can. He's got a point to prove, that guy. So I want to see him, and I want to see Spence, and I want to see our team get a centre back. That's all I want. I want a centre back that can actually defend and bring the ball back out with Romero. So we've got a chance to win more games.
But Ellie, do you know, you know how I feel on the club myself.
I'm speaking from my heart now, because I want the best for our club.
Yeah, look, I was born in Tottenham myself as well, so you know I'm as much as a Tottenham lad as you are. Look, Tottenham is my club. Always have been since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. We've seen some great players during the years. We've seen Hoddle, Waddle, we've seen Gaza, Lineker. But you look at the other argument. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. I'm trying to play both sides of the argument here. You see the other side of the argument, which I do agree with as well. And I've talked to you privately about this, Ellie, and you have.
Yeah, I do. I always tell you my thoughts, don't I? I always give my honest opinion.
And you've agreed with me. The other side is great. Where do we, as a club? I mean, do you? I mean, I think it's wrong to blame Paratici too. To be fair, but is this years and years of bad? Not having the right people in the right job, that we're trying to catch up now. We've got a proper director of footballing in Paratici.
Yeah.
Hitchin made a complete mess, and we've had to redo the scouting network. We've had to redo the transfer, get the people in the right positions. We've got Conte now and Paratici building a new dynasty at Tottenham. Is it going to take a few windows for us to get it right? Or is it just the case whatever we do, or whatever we bring in, whatever window we go through, because it's Levy and Enoch, it's never going to be good enough. Now, I understand where Brian. I've spoken to Brian about it loads of times, so I know where Brian comes from. And I took this window to sort of take a step back and not give my opinion. I still stick by my opinion. It's been a good window. It could have been better. But Ellie, do you think
being honest?
That's me being honest. I mean, do you think it's been years of mismanagement? We're now playing catch up, and this is the problem.
Yeah, because when you think about it, who employs these people? It's Levy. All right, so you've got to put the blame at his door as well for employing them in the first place. Now he's trying to get our house in order, but like you say, Rome is not built in a day. It takes step after step. We're making the right steps. We're getting players of the quality of Richarlison and Basuma. They are good players. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing these players. They are very good, all right, and they've added to our squad, all right. But we've got to get more quality. We've got to get the positions that we needed filled so that we can actually challenge. We're on the crest of a wave now. We're unbeaten. That's really good, and we played pretty dire in a lot of the matches. All right, we've got 11 points. We've got 8 points from the sides that we lost. We got 0 points from last year, so that's an improvement. It takes step by step. We've got the set piece coach working with us as well. It takes time. It takes time. What Liverpool did, right? They added Van Dijk, and it made the enormous difference. So if we get that centre back in this window, I'll be so happy. But which one's available? De Vrij, Skriniar, they would add to our team. and they can actually pass the ball.
Yeah,
the boys can pass the ball, and they're solid.
Yeah. Actually, Inter, their transfer window is completely done. They won't make any signings or outgoings, and Fabrizio Romano
It's a
posted
shame,
that.
isn't it? It's a shame.
But, you know, I've heard Dave the other day, and I agree with Dave said. If players don't want to come, how can you force them to come if they don't want to come?
You can't. You can't force them to come.
Bastoni, Dave, I watched Dave the other night, and he made a very good point. Dave said they were at Italy. Is it Bastoni? Italy were at Hotspur away during the friendly against England, or during
that's right.
something.
And they played Brazil,
How do we know nobody talked to him then? How do we know he says, look, I want to wait to January. Then I'll have a year left of my contract. How do you know that we're not going to make a move for him in January? We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We just because we don't get, I think, what we want straight away. I think some of us have been frustrated. I do agree. It's been 22 years of the same. I get that. I understand that. I fully do get that. But I think we need to trust Paratici and Conte and what they're doing. The performances haven't been great, Ellie. You're right. They haven't been. But we've picked up 8 points more than we had last season. We've got 2 of the toughest away games, Chelsea away, West Ham away, done with, apart from cup games. We're 3rd in the league with 10 points. And I think also what's up? No, 10.
We got 11. We've won 3 and drawn 2. Yeah.
Sorry. So it's going to be a long stream, Ellie.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Never doubt Ellie.
Don't worry,
never doubt Ellie.
It's only 1 point difference. You didn't make a big clanger, did you?
You know, 3 wins, 2 draws. I think, look, once we click into gear, you'll see us go. We'd be a team, we'd be a match for anyone. IZHAN, I want you to take this point from Corey Boy, because you've seen. Then I also come to you on the same point, Leo. Corey says we're the 8th richest club in the world, so called the Big Six club. We shop at Lidl. Why Chelsea, City, United all shop at Harrods? What do you say to Corey Boy 85 for that?
Just before he answers, I've just got to come off the stream, for a little while just to cook, and then I'll come back. All right, Dermot? You can take me out.
All right, there you go. IZHAN, what do you say to Corey Boy?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. We're the 8th richest club in the world. That's in terms of revenue generated. I believe that is true. And yeah, I guess we are a top 6 club. But here's the thing. With the teams that you're comparing us to, right? Man City and Chelsea are teams that have, you know, like the oligarch ownership model. And I know with Chelsea, they have new owners in. They have Todd Boehly, who has put money out of his pocket into the club to make these big signings. But with Chelsea, they lost their entire back line, and they lost a lot of players this season. They're losing Marcus Alonso. They are not in a good position. They've had to, you would say, overspend for a lot of the players that they're signing, and it's not like they signed Fofana for something like 70 million pounds or something. Is that really worth it? Do you want us overpaying for these players? Same with United. We are above them. We finished above them in the league, and look how much money they've spent, not only on transfer fees but on wages. Do you really think Anthony is worth 100 million? I don't think so. I do think he's a good player, but I don't think he's worth 100 million. Players like Basuma were very coveted players. A lot of teams in the Premier League wanted them. Same with Richarlison. Chelsea tried to hijack the Richarlison deal, but we ended up signing him, and we were after the same player. So I don't think that we shop at Lidl and these other teams shop at Harrods. I think that it's a bit of an unfair comparison, especially to just write off this window as poor, because we did not bring in poor players. The likes of Perisic, Basuma, and Richarlison are very good players. They're not bad at all. So I don't get, I don't really understand why, the tone is, like people are angry or frustrated about the players we brought in, because we have brought in real quality.
I mean, Leo, I mean, it's like, I mean, look, I really did not want to get into this Levy out thing, because I really do. I really don't want to get involved in it, because I feel it's a very murky thing to get involved in, because you can go one way. If you say your point, you get attacked for your point, and if you say another thing, you get. So I wanted to stay out of it. And look, now we're down this rabbit hole. We're down the rabbit hole. Look, my thing on Corey saying we're the 8th richest club in the world, so-called Big Six. Look, we got the highest debt in Europe, as far as I know. Shawnee would probably explain it better.
Yes, we do, because
but
of the
they
stadium.
structured that deal better to repay. Look, we have got good quality signings in. We may not have got all the signing ins we want, Leo. Do you understand where the people of the Levy, some Levy out people, are coming from? Or do you think it's a case of, look, Conte's in, Paratici's in, less trust in the house Paratici and Conte are building?
Yeah. I'm more for, I'll just ignore what Enoch and Levy are doing. For me, saying Levy out is not going to change anything.
No.
So I wouldn't even, you won't hear me say that, honestly. I respect wholeheartedly people's opinions when they say that, but to me, yeah, I'll repeat. I'm a Tottenham fan. Whether Tottenham is owned by Levy or by Enoch, and they have some puppet named Daniel Levy running the show, then it is what it is. Would I want my club to be bought by some oil prince? Probably not. I don't know how is that. I don't know if that's what people want. I don't know. They probably still wouldn't be happy with that either. So
I don't want it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't want it either. I don't want it either. If God forbid we don't win another trophy for another 20 years, I'm still going to support my team. You know what I mean? I'm not going to demand and start this whole agenda against the people that run the team. I mean, uh, the team as a business is being run good. I know that it doesn't bring the success on the pitch, but you guys, we're the eighth. We're one of the 8th richest clubs. The so-called Big Six. How many other clubs can say that? That's not a trophy. That's not something to fill the trophy cabinet with. I totally get it, but we could be. It could be a whole lot worse, you guys. It could be a whole lot worse. Like, one step at a time. You guys, there's a lot of stuff you guys don't know about me. I live my day one day at a time. I have to, because I don't look too far into the future, because for me that's detrimental. One day at a time with things, you know what I mean? One step at a time. And I think that's how, Daniel Levy and Enoch are changing. I want to believe the way they view Tottenham as a club. I think they know that with all the drama going on about Enoch in, Enoch out, this or whatever, they know, they're aware of it. You know what I mean? They know they walk on eggshells. They have to be aware that they're walking on eggshells, which is why we have Antonio Conte, which is why we signed Jet Spence, which is why we signed Destiny Udogie, which is why we're signing players for the future, because it's not, this window was not going to fix our whole problem, you guys. The whole problem was getting rid of people, bringing in some people that can flow with the team we have now, add more depth, get players next window, get players the window after that, and still have our manager and Don Paratici all still there. As long as we could get all that still going together, you guys, I don't care who's in charge. As long as it's not.
Look, Leo, I mean, got Corey Bryan saying the future isn't now. Look, I've been a Spurs fan I'm 45 now, so you can say for 43 years of my life, I've been a Tottenham fan. I was lucky enough to see us win. I was lucky enough to see us lift trophies as a kid and as a young adult. Look, you've got to realize this isn't FIFA or this isn't football management. Deals and loans take longer. As Wilton McDonald says, success will come. I would love this question, right? I'm going to ask this now to the people like who are in the chat, to Corey Boy and the other people. Would you rather have Conte, Paratici, and what we're trying to build now, or would you rather have the old White Hart Lane and trophies now? What would you prefer? That's a simple question. Would you prefer the old White Hart Lane and how we were under Alan Sugar and how we were mediocre and in the middle of the pitch, or would you rather have now not everything Levy's done over the 20 years has been right? Yes, everything he's made mistakes. I haven't been happy with what he's done. I really haven't been. Last season, I was shouting from the rooftop, Levy out, Enoch out. But since I took my break and over the summer as well, I've decided to go under a different sort of step back and have a look at it from the outside in. So so the likes of Corey Boy and big up Eugene. Big up Eugene. He says, "Gotta go, everyone. Have a great show. It's 1 a.m. over here. Old White Hart Lane and trophies." Big up Eugene. Thanks for joining in. So, and look, the likes of Eugene and that, I respect everyone's opinion. Everyone has a right to opinion. That's what football is about. It's about opinions. You should be able to have an adult conversation about stuff like this. Not everyone's going to agree with your opinion. Not everyone's going to agree with your narratives. Not everyone's going to agree with you how you see things. Look, we all agree. We all want the best for Tottenham Hotspur, but we all see things differently. We all have our own minds. We all have our own thinking processes. So we're all going to think things differently. For me, it's been a good window. People in the chat disagree with me. They're fine. You're entitled to your opinion, and I respect your opinion, and you always will respect your opinion. So, big up Eugene. So, I mean, IZHAN, I mean, we people that you've listed up of players, you look at Man City, you look at Manchester United, you look at Newcastle, you look at Chelsea. I read somewhere that we were at the time the third. We had 145 million third net spend for the summer transfer, and that's before we signed signed Romero on a permanent deal. For me, signing Romero on a 5-year contract is a bloody scoop. What do you say to Corey Boy in that? Do you think that they want success now, or do you think if we had the Glazers in charge, say for example, and we were run like Man United, or they spent over $1 billion? What would you be happy with? And I ask you the question: what old White Hart Lane or trophies, or Conte, Paratici, new stadium? Trust the process. Where do you stand?
Look, definitely. If for our long-term interest, the new stadium and the Conte and Paratici is the far better option, in my opinion. Look, I know people have their problems with Enoch, and Levy, but we could be run by the likes of the Glazers. I mean, there are so many bad owners. Even just right here in England, the guy at like what happened at Thfc, what happened at Oldham. There's so many clubs. We even saw in the past what happened with Leeds United going broke and getting relegated. Only now they've been in the Premier League after over 20 years, I think. And also we're seeing right now with Everton what happened, and to an extent Aston Villa. These are teams that are spending ludicrous amounts of money, and it's amounted to a total failure, especially with United as well. They have the highest wage bill in the league. They have the highest expenditure in the league, net spend. They've overpaid for players. They've overpaid for wages, and look how badly that's hurt them. A lot of us we're just focusing on oh, we didn't sign this player, we didn't get this player, we need to do this, we need to do that. But if you compare us to other teams, we're actually in a much better spot now. We're third in the league. Last season we were under Nuno, we were hoping to finish in the top 6, and even that was unlikely with the way we were playing. We brought in Conte. We made some good signings in January, which got us into the top 4. And I also want to add that in January, the teams that we were competing against, Chelsea, United, West Ham, Arsenal, those 4 teams that we were competing against for a top 4 position, they did not make a single signing. Levy opened the checkbook to get us into the top 4. Like I get people's problems with Levy. I know what has happened in the past, managerial sackings that people disagreed with, transfer windows where we've gone to sign no one or very few people. I understand all that, but for this particular season, and even including the last season, where Levy has brought in, he got rid of Hitchin, he brought in Paratici, he brought in a competent director of football, he let him make the signings, and we are now reaping the rewards. He brought in Conte. Conte's not in on some small wages. Conte's one of the highest paid coaches in the world. He brought Conte in, and we're reaping the rewards. So I understand criticisms of Levy, but if he does something right, I feel that we should praise him as well when he does something right.
I mean, but well said, IZHAN.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Leo, I mean, we've got great comments in the comment today, I have to say. This has started a really healthy conversation, a healthy debate between the 3 of us. And I want to thank everyone in the comments for getting their thoughts in, being honest, but being fair and not having a go with each other. And it's great. It shows that we can do it as a fan base. We can have a debate. We can talk to one another about it without name calling, without calling people out, without doing it. And it's great to see, and it shows we can do it. What do you say to Corey Boy here? He says, right, I'm going to address this now, Leo. I want, not you, but he says, I want to address this now.
Yeah.
I want ambition of it leads to trophies. Amazing. I want the owners to really start to throw down like the rest of the top 8 clubs. What would you say to Corey Boy? Because you have got a lot of fans that are really frustrated, younger fans. I mean, like IZHAN, like yourself, that haven't seen the Slip trophies, that have only lived under the ENIC era. I mean, we've also got to remember that only custodians for our club, they will not be here forever. Yeah. But apart from that, which is probably a stupid remark to make because I'm another 40 years, so probably will still be here. But what do you say to Corey Boy 85? What was your response be to him?
No, and two, before I do respond, Dermot, I just want to piggyback your comment on, we definitely respect the opinion of everybody else. And also too, like, I don't get offended by the stuff people say, and I by no means try to offend anybody but with my comments at all. So it's not to stir up the pot. It's just, my side, my opinion as a Spurs fan, from Denver, Colorado. That's all I can offer. And then to answer or to comment on what Corey Boy was saying, look, I follow Spurs because they're not like other clubs. What's the saying? In a world full of United Cities, Rovers, and others, there's only one Tottenham Hotspur. I don't want to be like the rest of them. That doesn't mean I don't want to spend money. I surely do. But if we're so used to the way the club has been ran, what makes you think it's going to change tomorrow? What makes you think it's going to change yesterday? We have to just accept it. We have to accept it. Like Dermot, you just said, I just know Enoch and Daniel Levy to run Tottenham Hotspur since I've been a fan in 2010. I don't know any different. I've yet to see my club, lift silverware, meaningful silverware. And look, guys, when I first started watching football, I definitely thought about maybe I was definitely watching other teams play. I definitely watched Man City play. I definitely watched Bayern Munich play, all these other teams play. But I fell in love with Tottenham Hotspur because they are the club for me. So if they spend the money, man, let's do it wisely. Let's not go and just pay the money stupidly to whoever. Like this transfer window, we did really good business buying the players.
I mean, Leo, can I just pick back on something you said there? I'm sorry to interrupt you, and I want to go with you.
By all means, Dermot.
We bought Mr. Burger King, our record signing, a waste of money. For a kick here, or for a kick there, or a kick here, we would have won trophies. We lost the 2009 League Cup final on penalties. We lost the 2008 Champions League final on a poor, stupid penalty decision by the referee. We got to many semi-finals. We got to the final of 2 League Cups, one under Poch, one of the Mourinho, and the second manager before a cup final was ludicrous. But that's another whole debate altogether. So
that's a different can of worms.
Yeah, but we have got these under ENIC and Levy. Do you think that we see the likes of Man United and we see the likes of now Newcastle under Saudi owners? We see these teams thinking, God, we're going to be taken over here. And do you feel that we should have that mentality, or do you think it's right to say, right, top 4 is the priority, and then anything else is a bonus to get for a season? What do you think on that?
You guys, I can't stress enough. I think being a Spurs fan, we have to definitely prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and prepare for the worst. We're definitely doing something right. We kept Antonio Conte. Our priority was to get Champions League. We're in the Champions League. We haven't even started the Champions League, and some people are already crucifying our lineup. They're already crucifying our team, and we haven't even went a quarter of the season through, you guys, with our new signings. We're yet to see these guys. We can't really rate this window until a year from now when we say, yeah, you guys, they were shit, or no, you guys, they were good. They were good purchases. I mean, we are doing our stuff, like I mentioned earlier, day by day, step by step. We're doing our stuff step by step. We're third place in the Premier League with the shit squad or the good squad, whatever you want to call it, that we have. The team that we're fielding has gotten us to third place 5 games in already. Right? We're undefeated. We haven't been beaten yet. We could tie the rest of the games and still go undefeated. That means we didn't lose. We could win out the rest of them, or we could lose the rest of them. Then that shows something. But to want to just crucify the board and crucify everybody just because we're because we're not first place, because we're not 5-0, because we don't have 100 million signings. I don't want $100 million signing. Our club doesn't need that type of person. It really doesn't. Our club does not need a 100. Would I love to see Erling Haaland in a Spurs uniform? Yeah, when I dream. But would I want to see that in real life? Nah, man. He's not built for Spurs. He wouldn't know what it's like to put this badge on. You know what I mean? He'll come to this club and go to another club and go to another club, just like he's going to do from City. All these players, they chase clout, they chase money, and I don't want nothing to do with players like that. I'd much rather just have players that want to, that know what it's like to struggle, man, that are humble.
I mean, look, we got Corey Boy here. Another. No, it wasn't Corey Boy. It was Mr. EE. Big up Mr. EE. I love him coming in. He does some great comments as well. And everyone in the comments, keep your comments coming in. Keep your questions for the panel coming in. Let us what you think of the transfer window. I want to touch back on the West Ham game. There was another great comment about Luis Dario Sanchez playing tippy-tappy football. I want to get into that in a minute. He's at Thfc till I die, and I think this is at me, so if okay, so I take it, and then I open up to you, IZHAN, and you, Leo. Dermot, do you think this transfer window demonstrates a clear lack of ambition at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club? And also, to add to that, there was a question it was Corey Boy put in there something about Bastoni. We didn't get Bastoni. But look, let me start on this one first, and then I'll go back to you, Mr. EE. How do we know we didn't talk to Bastoni? How do you know when he was at Hotspur away with Italy that somebody from the club didn't speak to him? if a player doesn't want to come to the club, we cannot force them to come to the club. We could offer the Inter Milan. Is it Inter Milan he plays for? I think IZHAN.
Yep.
Inter Milan. We could offer him, say, 100 million. If the player doesn't want to come, the player won't come. We can chase all the players we want all around Europe. If they don't want to come to the club, they will not come. So we can't force these players. Would I love Bastoni at the club? Of course I would. I would love Bastoni at the club. I would love a Haaland up front with all my pappy.
There's some Tottenham news.
Go on. Make us happy, IZHAN.
It's gonna make you guys sad. Ruslan Malinovsky stays at Atalanta. No Tottenham or Olympic Marseille move. Decision has been made by Atalanta president. So yeah, that's one player we were linked with. And this is by Fabrizio Romano. I just posted it 1 minute ago. So yeah, that's one player we were linked with. Not coming. Not moving.
Look. I think, and going back, so we still could be talking to Bastoni's people. So in January. So who knows where that's going to go? So I hope that answers your question, Corey Boy. To Thfc, do you think this transfer window demonstrates a clear lack of ambition? No, I don't think it shows a clear lack of ambition. We've got Peritic, we've got Basuma, who, if people remember, run that midfield against us in the FA Cup last season when Brighton played us at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He didn't have a great game last night, I grant you that, but he is a player that we need to bring in, and we've got him at a good price as well. Jed Spence lit up the Championship last season for Nottingham Forest, a brilliant right wing back. When he came on against Forest on Sunday, for the 8 minutes he was on, I thought he played very well. He had a good debut for the club. It doesn't show. Rome wasn't built in the day. We've got to trust the Paratici-Conte process we're going through. Look, just because we don't buy a Bastoni, we don't buy a Haaland, we don't buy other big players, doesn't mean we're not talking to them. It doesn't mean that behind the scenes they've made inquiries. If that club or that player doesn't want to come to us, what else can we do? It's been a good window. Could it have been better? Yes, of course it could have been better. But compared to where we were last season, laughing stock of Europe, couldn't get a manager to save up for anything. We went down to about the 15th name on the sheet. Nuno. I just don't know what more we could do. You're not going to please everyone, that is for sure. But for me, it's been a good window, and I will stick by that.
Yeah.
IZHAN, we've got comments coming in here. I need just to catch up. Yeah. So go on, IZHAN.
Yeah. Another thing is if people are saying we're not spending enough money, well, in terms of net spend in the Premier League, we have the sixth highest. So I don't know how anyone can say we're not spending enough. And the two teams above us, Newcastle, have only spent 4 million euros more, and then Nottingham Forest have only spent around 10 million euros more than us. So I don't know how anyone can say that in terms of spending we're not spending enough. Just because we're not spending 200 million euros like United and Chelsea, that doesn't mean we're not spending money. In fact, in terms of wages and transfer expenditure, it's been some of the highest in the league. So I don't get why people are saying we're not spending money. That's just not true at all.
Hi, Philip. Welcome back.
Sorry, I was just on dinner duty there. Cooking.
No, you're grand. Look, we're getting people coming in. That we've got people. We're sort of talking the debate: Levy out, Levy in, Levy in the middle, and the transfer window. People saying the transfer window isn't good. Some people saying, it shows no ambition by people, by the board, by Paratici. Where do you stand in all of this, Philip? I mean, you've been watching Tottenham since the late 60s. If everyone should listen to anyone, they should listen to you. What would you say about all of this? You've seen owners come and go.
A lot of them mightn't like what I'm going to say, but literally, I mean, the question I have to ask everybody is, right, in your opinion, since the Norwich game, the last game of last season, have we improved our squad? And I think the answer to that has to be a very definite yes, we have. We brought in Basuma, a ball winner. We brought in Perisic, who is a world-class wing-back. We brought in Richarlison, who can add another dimension to our attacking play. We brought in Jed Spence, who's got the potential to be a great wing-back. That, to me, is improving the squad. Okay, it hasn't been perfect. We all wanted another centre-back, and that doesn't look like it's going to happen. Not this window. But you cannot build Rome in one day. It takes a couple of transfer windows to put Paratici's plan and Conte's plan into action, into full action. I reckon we're 70% of the way there, and we'll complete the rest of the deal in either next January or next July. But I think we've got a good transfer window. The fact that we're not playing fluent, attacking Tottenham-like football is probably tempering a lot of people's thoughts at the moment.
Yeah.
The fact that we're not dominating games. But we're not losing games either. We're winning games and we're drawing games that we would have lost last season, as been proved by the results so far. Southampton beat us, we beat them. Chelsea beat us, we drew with them. Wolves beat us, we beat Wolves. West Ham beat us, we drew with them. So, it's Nottingham Forest are the only one that we haven't played last season, and we beat them. So I'm happy with the transfer window with some reservations. It's not complete, but it's getting there. And I think we can... it's coming soon. Some team is going to turn up at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium very soon and is going to go home with their tail between their legs. I'm hoping it starts with Fulham on Saturday, which will put a lot of doubting to bed, because we've got so much talent, so much expression, and so much fluidity and speed in that team that's going to break out sometime, and hopefully sooner than later. Because let's face it, with Man City to come after the Fulham game, and I don't think any of us are expecting too much out of that game. And funny enough, that could just be the game where we really kickstart our season, because we've got a very good record against Man City, and they do not like that for us. Okay, I know they've got Haaland here, and Haaland versus Romero is something I would pay and go and see.
That's like a big heavyweight boxing fight. That one that will be paid.
Muhammad Ali versus Joe Liston all over again.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Hey Dermot.
Yeah.
Could I just say something, and then I'm gonna go explore the city.
Yeah, of course you can,
Dermot. Look, real fast, you guys. I think we just need to pump the brakes. My final words is just trust in Conte and trust what Paratici got going. They are the people that are directing our players. Paratici is trying to get players, or who knows what's going on backstage. But you guys, there's one tall tale sign in all of this, and that's Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte would have left Tottenham Hotspur a long time ago if he was not happy with what's going on. He would have walked out. Let's just face it, you guys. He would have left. He would have said, bye. He's done it to bigger, dare I say, bigger clubs. Chelsea, more successful club. Right after winning the title with them, he left. Inter Milan, after winning the title with them, he left. Why? From issues with the board, stuff not going his way. So we don't know what's going on when they get together and drink coffee and discuss whatever the hell it is they discuss. We don't know none of that stuff, you guys. We just know what we see and what is hearsay. So I look, if we don't get anybody in, I apologize for the club to you guys. I'm sorry we can't fulfill all the needs, but have faith in what we got going on. Like I said, the tall tale sign is Antonio Conte is still there. Antonio Conte is still there. He would leave if he was not happy. He would leave if so he got sacked at Chelsea. Why? Because he publicly said that,
he didn't. He got into a fight with the board. He got into a fight with the board on transfers.
Yeah, he's not afraid to let you know what he's feeling, and then this whole the one substitution, guys, we don't know why he did it. It could have been a dig at the board. It could have just been, the way he was feeling. The squad was adequate enough to salvage the point. Maybe he went, okay, now these guys will salvage me the point. They won't give it up if I was to bring in somebody else. Who knows? But I'm nobody to question them. Do I hope we get somebody else? Yeah, I do. But come Fulham, come the game against Fulham, I'm going to root whoever's on the pitch, and I'm going to root for whoever's on the bench. And that's just the bottom line. That's my opinion. And like I said, you guys, I'm in Milwaukee. I'm gonna go explore the city. I'm gonna hopefully go get lost. So you guys, I'll keep update. I'll keep checking for updates. I'll keep popping in if I can to see what's going on. I appreciate you letting me be on your stream, Dermot, for this what is hopefully to be an exciting couple of hours left. And everybody in the chat, I respect your guys' opinion. I hope you guys respect all of our opinions. At the end of the day, that's just what they are. We all have our own perspective. We all have our own point of view when we watch Tottenham. And at the end of the day, you guys, we're all one big family. We all support our beloved Tottenham Hotspur, and that's just what it is. Let's get behind the guys this Saturday. Come on, you Spurs! I can't wait to watch the game, and I hope we just steamroll Fulham and get firing on all cylinders.
You know what, Leo? I think after this stream tonight, I'm gonna find myself a dark room. I think stick my head somewhere and just lay quiet for the whole day, and just forget about transfer windows.
But listen, sometimes it's necessary, Dermot.
Big up, Leo.
Well said, Leo. That's you got it. You got it in one sentence, in one spiel there. That's absolutely perfect. What you have to say sums it up completely.
I wear my team on my sleeve, you guys. I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in. I don't care who the 11 is. I'm all in. I'm all in.
It's got to be that way. Got to be that way.
Tom's saying, enjoy your walk, Leo. Wilton's saying, enjoy, Leo. And he says, Tom says, we all want the best for our team. Of course we do. We're all Tottenham fans at the end of the day. That's all we want.
At the end of the day, that's what it is. Yeah. It was a pleasure to finally be on with you, brother.
Yeah, you too, Leo. It's nice seeing you.
Yeah, Dermot, Philip, my homies. Good luck on the stream. Yeah. Give them hell. Give them hell. Give them hell. Give them hell. Yeah. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. And everyone get over to the My Home Hotspur. What a good fit. Right, Philip, I'll start you with this one and then I go to IZHAN. Neil Shafter. I don't think I've seen you before. Neil, welcome to the channel, brother. It says money is one thing, it's spending it on the right players. That is the most important. People get stuck on names who play for everyone else. If we sign that guy, all our problems are over. It's 11 guys together. I mean, what he's saying is right, isn't it, Phil?
Absolutely. Do you know what it's like? It's like, I mean, I'm not denigrating fans by saying this, but I'd akin it to bringing a young child into a toy shop prior to Christmas. I want that. I want that. I want that. I want the point of the shop. That I want that. I want that. Not thinking that toy might not suit when they get it home. Like it's not buying a player isn't like going shopping at Tesco or Safeways or Asda or whatever. But the equivalent in Canada is you don't pick up your trolley and go on and pick a player off the shelf and go through checkout and bring him home with you. There's a whole load of different issues that have to be solved before you can sign the player, and we have to sign the right players. Now, I am sure that Paratici and Conte have got a shopping list, and I'm sure they've approached everybody on that shopping list. But for a number of reasons, we haven't been able to fill every gap that we have. Centre back is the main one. But it's not down for one to try, you can be sure of that. But there's loads of players available out there, but they probably do not suit Conte's style. And you don't put a square peg into a round hole. So that's why I have implicit faith in those two guys. The fact they didn't get their full shopping list done is not down to it's not their fault. It's down to a number of factors which did not go in our favor this time, but probably will in the next couple of transfer windows. So it is 11 players that fit together in like a jigsaw puzzle. There's no point in having a couple of pieces that don't fit, like we had with Ndombele and maybe a couple of other players in recent years, you know? So we're getting stronger than we were in May anyway.
Yeah. He says, Dermot, I'm the guy in the US, the Undertones fan, the guy who knows about Veronica. I don't.
We signed
probably have, so I don't. Yeah.
Strange. I like the Undertones. The Undertones are a good band, all right?
No. Who knows about Veronica Guerra? Oh yeah, I think I remember you on the stream one night. Well, anyway, Neil, it's nice to have you back. And Wilton agrees with you 100% what you said, Philip. And Tom says, I agree. Professional, proper recruitment required, but too many excuses. Look, IZHAN, we look at the mess Hitchin made when he was in charge. Look, you go back to the Gareth Bale money and the Gareth players were put in from the Gareth Bale money. Can you name me one player out of that whole players we signed that went on to be a success?
Ericsson and no one else. Ericsson and no one else.
So what do you say to fans like we want to sign people like we, as Philip puts it, the new toy? I mean, can you understand what they're saying? But you know, or what would you say to them? What can you say to them to sort of take their argument apart? Because you could buy all the best players in the world, doesn't mean they're going to perform for you. Look at Don Bellier, record club signing, didn't perform for us, did he?
Same with Lo Celso. We spend a lot of money on him, and look where he is now. And yeah, I agree with Philip. You know, even in the January window when we signed Bentancur and Kulusevski, people are like, it's not good enough. These players aren't no good. Yeah, Juventus rejects. You know, we signed Richarlison. Oh no, he's not good enough. Bissouma, no, not good enough. We need more. We need more players, more signings. You know, it's like it's almost like a pattern now. You know, nothing will satisfy these people. Like with I don't want to say like these people you know, in a negative term. Sorry, I don't want to generalize anyone either. So sorry about that. But you know, we have spent money. We've 120 million net spend, 6th highest in the league, just barely behind Newcastle and Nottingham Forest, 5th highest wage bill in the league. And like another thing is like I wanted to go through Chelsea's signings. Chelsea have spent over 200 million. They kind of have to because they lost their entire back line. But look at how they're overpaying for their players. Like, do you really think 80 million for Fofana is worth it? Is that the kind of things that you want to do? Mark Cucurella, good player, but would you pay 65 to 70 million euros for him? Do you really think he's that good? And we signed Romero for only 50 million.
Yeah.
And like even Raheem Sterling, 60 million euros, a guy who cannot score a goal at all. Would you want to sign him for 60 million? Koulibaly was 40 million. He had a shocker against Leeds. He got sent off. Do you really want to sign these big? These are big name players. Don't like the likes of Fofana, Sterling, Koulibaly, Cucurella. These are big name players. But do you really want to spend these big wages and big transfer fees on players that are underperforming and not up to standard? Or would you rather, you know, make pragmatic and smart signings and get a cohesive unit, which is what we're doing? You don't need to spend money. Spending more money does not guarantee you success. You just need to bring in the right player, and I believe we are bringing in the right players.
I mean, Philip, Conte isn't a checkbook manager, is he? He isn't a manager that he will. I mean, look at the players he's turned into world-class players over the years. I mean, he isn't a checkbook manager, is he?
I would say, you know, if you put Conte if Conte was managing Chelsea now, right? I don't think there's any way they would have paid 80 million for anybody. He would say, listen, like Conte is realistic. He'll pay the going price or the market price. Chelsea paid way over the odds, just like United paid way over the odds, 100 million for that Anthony fella. You know, that to me is panic buying. As you said, Chelsea lost their back line. They had to replace them. And the other clubs knew that. And they've named the price to Chelsea, who have paid, I'd say, 50% over the price they should have paid for all that back line that they bought. And Conte would not have that. He's got an agreement with Daniel Levy. He knows what the budget is. He knows what players are valued at. And we just refuse to pay more than they're worth. And that's the way it should be. Like, it's like running a business. If you run a business and your income is 20 million, right, a year, but you want to buy players that cost 30 million, there's only one way that business is going, unless there's unlimited cash in the background. And I don't think the new Chelsea owner, I could be wrong on this, I don't think he's got the resources that Abramovich had.
Well, the thing is, the reason Todd Boehly is spending money, investing into the club, is because he was able to buy Chelsea for well below market price. So he bought it for 2.2 billion when Chelsea's should be worth around 2.5 to 2.7 billion, which is why he has some money to put into transfers. But it's not going to go on forever. He's not an oligarch. He wants a return on investment. So yeah, this is just something that might happen for this season and maybe next season. But after that, he's going to want his money back. He's going to want to make a profit.
It's not sustainable. It really isn't. I mean, okay, I know people criticize Daniel Levy for being tight and whatever. One thing I will give Daniel Levy credit for, he is a very astute businessman who will never put the club at risk by overspending. Now, I know fans find that frustrating at times, but what would you have? Daniel Levy pay 100 million for a player that's worth 50 and the club go bust? I've been through it when Spurs nearly went bust, and I never want to go through that again. Because we came within 48 hours of going out of business in 1991. And Levy has learned the lesson of that, debacle under Irving Scholar that took place then. Never want to see it again. He's done very well. He's got us a new stadium. He's got us a new training ground. He has the best facilities probably in the world for a soccer team. He's now starting to learn the lesson that he's got to improve on the team, which he's done up to a point this season, and that will continue as long as we've got Conte there. He keeps Conte sweet, this team gets better. He disillusions Conte. Conte walks, and God knows where we go.
I mean, Carl Simpson, big up Carl. He says Tottenham Hotspur, Spurs hold talks over potential move for Hakim Sakid. Photo.
Yeah.
That was from 6:30 tonight. So that is something we are watching very closely. That's a deal that could get done. If we can get him in, Philip, I'd be over the moon with that deal.
I'd be absolutely delighted. That will actually, fill the creative void that we have. Yeah, because I have a lot of time for Ziyech. I think he's a good. I hated him when he was playing for Chelsea, as I hate every player that plays for Chelsea. But I can recognise talent, and I would love to see him in the white shirt.
Did he play under Conte at Chelsea?
No. He signed after Conte. He was signed under Lampard.
Yeah.
I mean, you got people here, Tom. Sorry, Ivan. Go on, you saying?
Yeah, I want to go through this. Leicester, how good has the recruitment been? Well,
I actually did start that for you, actually. Is that obviously I did start for you.
Is that a rhetorical question or what?
Like, okay, I with Leicester, this is actually something I have talked about, where their club for many years has been in debt. Their owners have put in money, but they have been running on losses, and the debt has been accruing with COVID and everything. Now it finally comes to bite them in the backside. Their spending and their investment. This is why they're not making any signings. This is why they had to let go of Fofana. This is probably why they will let go of Tielemans and probably Madison as well soon. They have overspent. The owners can't keep funding this. They have to get some of their money back, and this is why Leicester are not making any signings. So would you prefer to be in that situation?
Exactly. That's a very good point.
Is debt because of transfers and wages, or would you rather be in our situation? And I know which one I would pick.
That's a huge point, IZHAN. That's an absolutely brilliant point, because it looks to me as if all the Fofana money is going in to pay debts and maybe to the owners a bit of a dividend to keep them sweet for another while. Because I would have expected them to replace him, because Leicester, somebody said that Leicester will go down this season. And I'm hoping Ollie and myself are going to the Leicester match in 2 weeks' time. So let's hope that we can put a number on them on that day as well and beat them heavily, because I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for the fans. They're going from winning the league 6 years ago to where they are now. It can't be easy.
I don't think they're going to go down. Like there's teams worse than them, far worse than them, like Bournemouth and whatnot. I think even Fulham have a bigger chance of going down. I don't think Leicester will go down, but I think they will struggle. And I also think a lot of their players have just completely down tools because they want to leave.
I mean, Philip, what do you say to Tom here? He says, I'm not saying go into massive debt. We are a very rich club.
we are in
not
massive
as rich
debt.
as
are a
people
rich club.
think we are.
We are, but we have the stadium debt is something like 700 million, I think. But I think that it's ring fenced and kept to one side, so it should not affect the day-to-day running of the club. We're the eighth club in the world, I think, or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
But again, we've got a very prudent owner who doesn't like spending money foolishly. You know, and what I'm saying is, I think Levy would have splashed the cash on the centre back and the midfield if the right one had come available. It probably just hasn't happened this time. Now, Ziyech would be, if we get Ziyech, I would say then we've 8 pieces of the 9 that was needed complete. It's only the centre back then we'd be really looking at.
Yeah.
Because I reckon all this talk about wing backs, I think Jed Spence can do a job on the right wing back, and we've got Perisic and Sessegnon on the left. So I think if we get Ziyech, it's only the centre back issue that needs to be fulfilled, and that won't happen this transfer window. But no, I mean, I'm not a Levy in person. I'm a Levy when you've done your job, move over and let somebody else move in and take over person. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. The new owners will always breathe fresh impetus into a club, whereas Levy has been there 20 years and probably is a bit stale at this stage, really, to be honest.
Realistically, Levy and ENIC aren't going anywhere.
What's that? Sorry, you said?
Realistically, Levy and ENIC aren't going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, not when they're getting such income from the football club, the NFL, the concerts. I mean, those concerts they had during the summer, the Lady Gaga and Guns N' Roses. I heard a rumor they made 10 million in total from all those concerts.
Yeah, can I just say something on that, Philip? That's a very good point. All these concerts and everything. All Tottenham get from that is the rent of the stadium, and the beverage. So the ticket sales and everything else, even for the NFL, it goes to the American football clubs.
Would they not think there's a percentage involved there as well?
Yeah,
there may. I actually don't know.
I don't think Levy would let it go quite as easy as that.
No.
Because let's face it, they've got the use of the best facilities there are, and they're not going to just pay a rental for that. There's going to be a certain percentage of the turnover coming back to Levy. But then again, look at the money there. If you 60,000 people at a concert on a hot summer's evening, try and work out the bar takings there.
Yeah, I know. I mean, guys, look, let's put ourselves in the Paratici and Conte shoes, right? We've talked about Levy, we talked about the good and the bad of Levy. Let's put ourselves into Conte and Paratici shoes, right? Just say, for example, you're Paratici, Philip, and you're Conte, IZHAN, right? What would your process be for getting players in? And do you think a lot of fans think it's just like FIFA or Football Manager? You pay a price, you give them so much money for a contract, and it's done. Or there is a lot more into it, isn't there, Philip? And I'll start with you in this. There's like agents' fees, there's naming rights, there's more into it than getting the player than just splashing the cash, isn't there?
It's a very complex procedure from start to finish because, as you say, the agent can have a huge influence. Like an agent might have a good relationship with a club, and they might have a bad relationship with a club. So if one of his clients says, "I want to go to Tottenham," and Tottenham isn't on his good list, they'll say, "No, don't go there. I'll get you a better deal somewhere else." Whereas that's why agents to me have been not the ruination of, but they've been very, very unproductive and let me see, they spoiled an awful lot of transfers that could have happened.
Agents in football are parasites.
Yeah, well, that's nicely put. I wasn't going to go that far, but you're dead right.
No, they are. They 100% are. Yeah. They offer nothing.
I've heard some transfers you hear 5 and 6 million of agent fees. I mean, that is ridiculous. That's probably 10-12% of the transfer fee that goes into their back pocket. What for? Making a few phone calls. And then you've got the image rights. That's another thing that has to be paid for. Then you've got bonuses to be worked out. Like, it's a very complex thing. And one thing I would love to know, every transfer you see at the moment was such and such moved to Tottenham for, for 20 million plus 5 million add-ons. What exactly are those add-ons? No one's ever explained it to me. So maybe IZHAN, you might know. I don't know.
Yeah, basically, like add-ons are like, they could encompass a wide variety of things. So it could be something like if the team wins domestic cup, 2 million in add-ons. if the player makes 10 league appearances or more. That's 3 million in add-ons. It could be something like if the player gets into the team of the season. That's another add-on. Sporting had that add-on with Bruno Fernandes. If he makes the team of the year for the in team of the season for the Premier League, they'll get an extra 10 million. They had an add-on like that. So add-ons could be literally anything. Like it could be. It's usually based on team or player performance.
You see the one that Anton Griezmann has at Barcelona, or wherever he is. If he plays more than 30 minutes a match, they have to pay Barcelona 40 million or something like that. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah,
it is. Just to give you a quick update in the transfer market, what's happening with other clubs, we'll just move away from Spurs for 2 minutes. Dan James is having the medical at Fulham, which I'm over the moon he's going to Fulham. Fulham have also signed William on a 3-year deal, apparently. Nottingham Forest signed defender Willie Bowley from Wolves for 4.65 million on a 2-year deal. Tottenham are in talks with Chelsea over Hackman as well, so that's something that will come. Hopefully, we'll know more about soon. Philip, for you, I asked a question earlier. Out of all the clubs, not just the Premier League but Europe, who do you think has done the best business this transfer window?
Well, I'll tell you, it might be quicker for Nottingham Forest to say Nottingham Forest have not signed this player because they seem to have signed everybody else, you know. Let me see. Who's got the best transfer window? I'm loath to say that I think possibly Arsenal have a good transfer window. I mean, I say that with really, I'm forcing the words out there, but they have had a good transfer window. And if they get, what do you call him? The guy Luis fella from Villa, then that will be very good because that's one area that team is very weak in the middle of the centre or the midfield.
That they've actually rejected their second Arsenal bid. And just tell you that
Villa want to keep him.
Rejected that second bid.
Villa want to keep him, so hopefully that will be the way, you know.
Yeah.
Spurs have had a good window, very good window. Man United haven't done too bad either, really, you know. And I suppose for sheer volume and to change the team completely, Nottingham Forest have to get an award. I see that they're looking for that. I think it's their 20th player at the moment, you know.
Yeah, I'm losing count. I'm losing count with Villa, Philip.
Forest, yeah, I know.
Yeah. And also, I did ask Ellie and the rest of them earlier. Danny Rose had his contract terminated at Watford.
Yeah.
And I did say, I mean, it was a stupid question, really, but it was more thing, would you take him back at Spurs? Even like for a coaching role in the youth team with Defoe and Yaya. I mean, would you bring him back? Or where do you think Danny Rose will go now? Or do you think he'll retire?
I don't think he'll retire. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if he did come back to Tottenham in some role, a non-playing role now, because I think he burnt his bridges regarding playing with his comments before he left, you know. But, like, it's always good to have ex-players coming back into the coaching setup. I mean, look at Ryan Mason, where he's got to. The fact that we've got Yaya Toure, that's a huge thing. I know he's not this player, but Jermaine Defoe will learn his trade there as well. So, yeah, I mean, Danny Rose was a great servant to Spurs over the years. I mean, how long was he with us? 10, 12 years? So I would certainly bring him back if he's going to retire. But I have a feeling he's only, 31, 32? He's probably got another couple of years left in him. So he'd probably move to a lower league team. I think
he could go to the MLS, like the MLS. I think
it could well do, yeah. Like when he's finished his career, I bring him back as into the coaching staff. Maybe.
I mean, Danny Rose makes me laugh when it was all or nothing. He was saying to Lee, who's come in for me? Juventus, Inter Milan, you know, all the big teams in Europe. No, you're going to Newcastle. And you could see just the look on his face, he went, bollocks.
But now Danny Rose was, in his prime, one of the best fullbacks in the Premiership.
Yeah, he
was.
was.
Really was. No.
He read it. I mean, Philip, and I'd go to you, IZHAN, on this. I've been rewatching the All or Nothing documentary did in the Spurs a couple of years ago. I've said it in a few streams. Look at us then to look at us now. You can see the improvement, can't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the improvement even since the 20-5 on the 22nd of May, whenever we played the last match, the improvement there is there. We've got class players in. We've got strength in most positions. We've got 2 players nearly for every position now. Okay, we're not quite there defensively, but with midfield, attack, goalkeeper, even we've got the strength. We are better off. I mean, under Jose, we were a very unfit, disorganized team, and I don't quite know what happened there, but we're certainly not unfit under Conte. Although there is the train of thought. I mean, it's not entirely off the charts that Conte has overtrained the boys, and they look a bit leggy now.
Yeah.
So that's quite a valid point, and we do look leggy towards the end of some games, last night in particular. So
I think Philip's frozen there, IZHAN. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. IZHAN, I go with you. Do you know? Look, the transfer window's closing down now. We've got another likes of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We've got 4 hours left. What do you expect in the next 4 hours for Tottenham, transfer window wise, or is it just all the eggs are in for this
on
Chelsea
the training
player?
during the week? They don't need to be going back.
Yeah, you're back there.
Yeah, I'm changing my internet provider next week. I think the one I'm with must know I'm going because he's breaking down.
I mean, I'll start. I was just saying there, question there for IZHAN, and I'll come to you straight away, Philip, as well. IZHAN, what's going to happen in the next 4 hours and 3 hours or so for the transfer window that's left?
I don't know. I think we probably maybe could see a loan outgoing. I think maybe someone like Brian Hill could go out on loan. Something like that. Maybe we bring in some another player for our youth team, like a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, something like that. But I wouldn't expect anything too massive. I think most of our business was done early. So, yeah, I think we should be pretty solid. Yeah.
And Philip, do you know, we've done our business early. A long time since we've said that. I mean, is this going to be like business is done now at Tottenham? I mean, it was reported a couple of hours ago from where is it now? By Michael Bridge that claims the business is likely to be over at Spurs. Do you think now? 4 hours left? Do you think that's it for Spurs for this summer transfer window?
We can only hope that there's something in the Ziyech rumor. It's not just a smokescreen. I think the fact that we did our business early is probably coming back to bite Levy in the ass a bit now, because people are the players have been in for a couple of months, maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and they're kind of forgotten about now. And the fact that we haven't bought anybody at the latter end of the window is kind of, we're not thinking laterally that we've done our business early, which is quite unique for Tottenham. Because normally a last minute thing. So that's why I'd like to see one more player coming in, or possibly, And as for outgoings, I don't see Brian Hill going anywhere now. The Valencia deal is falling. No, I don't think he will.
Look, we had the Ronaldo thing all over the summer with United. Is he going? Is he staying? Is he whatever he's doing? They're playing Leicester tonight. He's on the bench tonight. Do you think he'll stay at United for the rest of the season, IZHAN?
Yeah, look, with Ronaldo, I didn't really think he was going to go anywhere. I don't think it's the issue that nobody wants Ronaldo. Like all the media is like, Ronaldo's washed, he's finished. I don't think that's the case, that nobody wants him. I think with the thing with Ronaldo is that if a team were in for him, they would have to pay a transfer fee to United, and United would probably want at least 20 or 30 million, which is why the likelihood of him leaving was so low. So I don't Ronaldo now. I don't think he's going to go anywhere.
I think his wages are too high as well for most clubs. I mean, he's supposed to be on the guts of $500,000 a week in United.
Yeah,
so
I think 450 grand a week or something. So
it's massive,
I think teams like Chelsea and stuff would be willing to pay those wages, but it's just a transfer fee. Nobody wants to pay like 30 million euros, 20 million euros for a 37-year-old.
And plus, I believe he's a disruptive influence as well. He's very ego driven, and it's his way or the highway. And I'd say he was behind some of the troubles that United had last season, causing division between the camp. And there was supposed to be a load of cliques in the dressing room, Portuguese, English, and otherwise. And he's not short of an opinion or two. So I'd say now, any club that takes Ronaldo on, there's nearly a government health warning with him because he's his own man and doesn't suffer fools gladly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyway, he's certainly. But the thing about it is, he's going to be a bit part player at United. If they brought in Anthony, playing in more or less the same position.
Well, Anthony's a right winger. So
is he going to be satisfied sitting on the bench every game? So if he's not getting a first team football with United, I can see the rumours and the rumblings of discontent coming out of him as the season goes on. And I think by the January they might be glad to get rid of him for nothing if that point comes to that, because they got him for nothing. So why shouldn't they?
Well, no, they did pay a transfer fee.
They pay. Yeah. I thought they. Oh, maybe they did. Yeah.
Because it wasn't the end of his contract. I believe they did pay a transfer fee for him.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
With Ronaldo, I think Ronaldo will get back into the side, like with the results we've seen with United. I just don't think that they're even that good or that cohesive. Both their wins weren't that convincing. Even the Southampton one wasn't that convincing, in my opinion. But Chelsea have signed Dennis Zakaria from Juventus.
Yeah, Southampton battled second half there, but just couldn't get the ball in. I'll tell you, I'm not usually a fan of Man United, but I want them to win on Sunday, big time. To put Arsenal in the box.
Oh yeah, yeah. With United, United have made some pretty cool signings in my opinion. Especially Casemiro, but they've overpaid 100%.
Yeah, exactly. They're panic buys,
and insane wages too. Like if you compare the team's wage bills, like United have the largest wage bill by a long margin compared to the everyone else, and they've won nothing. So it's not about like the money you spend; it's about the players you bring in.
Yeah. They could. I don't see United. Okay, they'll probably get top 6, but I can't see them getting higher than that. I don't think they're in the frame for the top 4 this season. Maybe next year, but when Ten Hag gets his feet under the table a bit better, But I think we've got problems with our owners. I think Man United have got some massive problems with the Glazers, who are milking that club.
If you look at teams like Everton, like would you want their owners? Their owners have put in a lot of money. They've spent a lot of money. They've had like the 7th highest net spend in world football, or like 9th highest over the past 10 years, and they almost got relegated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't like.
They're building a new ground as well, so that's going to be a big drain on their resources as well.
Yeah, and even in the past, we saw like Leeds, how they got relegated because they spent their money so poorly. I think most fans don't like their ownership. I mean, even West Ham don't have good owners. I know David Moyes has been doing a really good job there at West Ham, but they almost got relegated in the past, and they're like renting out the London Stadium. You're so far away from the pitch. You need the binoculars to watch the game.
Oh, it's a dreadful place. Dreadful.
Yeah, even a club like Bournemouth, they've barely spent any money. I know they don't have a lot of money, but fans are still unhappy with their owners over there. You can see Leicester, their owners, they invest a lot of money, but the debt's gone too big. They want a return on their money now. They're not signing anyone. Aston Villa's owners have put in a lot of money. They're currently 19th in the league. So a lot of you can see with a lot of other ownerships that have spent a lot of money, have invested more money into the club, they're not getting the results that Levy and Enoch have. I just think like there are owners that are good in the Premier League. I would say Brentford have very good owners. They do fairly well on a small budget. They turn a profit. I would say Brighton have good owners, and Liverpool as well. Teams that live within their means, and make decisions in regards to their finances. But I just think that the Levy out and Enoch out hate at the current time is unwarranted. I feel if we were willing to criticize someone, we should be able to praise them too. And for the past season, I've given Levy a lot of praise for what he's done.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, further, I mean, it's okay to hammer Levy, and in some years gone by, he has deserved it.
Mm-hmm,
but as you say, he's put his money where his mouth is up to a great extent this season. Maybe not quite as much as we would have liked, but it's certainly an improvement on the 3 transfer windows we bought nobody, which was an absolute disgrace when you think about it, you know. But going back to your point there about owners, I think the teams with good owners are the ones you don't know about. Like we're always hearing about the Glazers, we're always hearing about Leicester, and we're always hearing about Everton like that. Like you mentioned Brighton and Brentford. I wouldn't have a clue who owns them. But the fact that you don't hear much about them means they're well run. They're running within a budget because they wouldn't be getting huge crowds they're not generating the income that the likes of Man United and Spurs, Liverpool are, you know. So the fair dues to the smaller clubs for keeping within their budget. Okay, I know they're getting huge television money, which always helps, you know. And I saw somewhere that some of the wage bill, I think it's Brentford's wage bill, Ericsson was supposed to be something like 200 grand a week when he was with them. But the biggest, highest paid player after that was something like 20 grand a week. Huge difference. And it's a wonder that didn't cause some discontent in the ranks because, you know, somebody comes in getting a huge pay like that and you're on a quarter or a tenth of what he's getting. It could have caused some discontent, but it doesn't seem to have. So, like, fair dues to the likes of Brentford. I know when they were in the I was always hoping
in the lowest wage bill in the Premier League.
Brentford.
Oh, sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, did you say Brentford have the lowest wage bill?
Yep, in the Premier League.
Yeah, that backs up what I was saying there, you know. But I like Brentford, apart from the time they didn't beat, they held us to a draw last season. But you know, and I hope they don't go down this season. I don't think they will. I think
they won't. I think their ownership have done spectacularly, especially like because staying up in the Premier League is really difficult. We've seen teams like Fulham fail to do so many times, Norwich as well, Watford. To do so in your first attempt and finish mid-table is really quite impressive, in my opinion.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Yeah, United's wage bill is the highest, estimated at £215 million. Second is Chelsea at £178 million.
We're about 90 million, aren't we? 98 million, something around there.
Around 98 million pounds. Fifth
that's
highest.
Less than half Man United wage bill when you think about it. That's incredible.
Yeah, and we finished higher than them.
Like the percentage of United's wage bill, the percentage to their income must be very, very high.
Yeah, wages to turnover ratio. Yeah, that's another thing that why I don't really hate or think the Glazers are the worst owners in the world. I feel that they have spent money. They've spent money on wages. They've spent money on players. The issue with the Glazers is that you know, they just haven't put the right people in place to make the signings. They shouldn't have gotten rid of Ragnick. I feel they should have, you know, probably hired him as a director of football. I just think that's the issue with the Glazers. I even them taking dividends, that's not the issue. They're still spending a lot of money. I just think the issue
is not their own money though. It's not their own money. When they bought that club with leverage buyout, so they didn't actually put money in.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think leverage buyouts will probably be banned in the Premier League sooner or later.
It should be, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Hi, Ellie. How are you?
Hello. I've just had my dinner. I had daffignon potatoes, salmon, and broccoli. It's beautiful.
You're hungry now. Come on.
Yeah, I was just agreeing with you there because a lot of rich owners don't put their own money in. I think about probably 75% of them, and the 25% that do, they've actually been successful. The clubs that have, the owners have put their own money in and bought the players way above everybody else, like Manchester City's owners. They put their money in their pockets and spend. Newcastle owners have been doing it. Newcastle will take a little bit of time to get to where Man City are. It takes time. It doesn't take just one window. Yeah, so I just feel I feel a little bit disappointed about not getting the centre back. I'm happy with the window in terms of the types of players we brought in, but the centre back is vital because we're very weak in that area. You can see it. You know, we've been very lucky to get the results as well that we have. We've been riding our luck a bit, haven't we?
We have, but like, the thing about it is, we haven't played well. We're still unbeaten. Which can you know,
that's it.
If you go back 2 or 3 seasons, even under Poch, right? If Spurs had played the way they have in the 5 matches up to date, would we have as many points as we've got now? We wouldn't.
No, we wouldn't.
Won 1, drawn 1, and lost 3. That'd probably be the record.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the way that Conte sets out his stall. He's a very what's the word I'm looking for? He's very practical the way he puts each player in their thing, and he tells them what to do. He gives them instructions. You do this well, don't do this because you're not capable of it. Yeah, just do the simple things because football is quite a simplistic game. You know, you just have to pass and move. Right, but our movement sometimes it's not very good, especially the front three. Sometimes they get fed up when the ball's not coming to them, so you can't blame them. You can't blame them because they go a bit stale because they're not getting fed all the time. Sonny, he feeds off lots of balls over the top, but we're not even doing that at the moment.
Yeah. It'll come, it'll happen, but you know, it's going to happen soon because I keep saying somebody's going to get a roasting one of these days.
Yeah, I think it's Fulham.
Hopefully.
I'm going to the match. I've been cheering them on.
Hello, Dermot. Thanks for talking on there for a while, guys. Sorry, I just had to do it. So sorry.
That's one thing we can do is talk.
I didn't say that, indeed, but yeah, I agree.
Thank you, Tom.
Wilton saying, "Come back, Dermot. All is forgiven. I'm back."
I'm going to
I mean, guys. I mean, IZHAN. I mean, we might as well touch on the Fulham game and do the preview to the Fulham game while we're all here as well, so we all can have a day off tomorrow and just relax. What do you want to see, Ellie? I'll start with you with the Fulham game coming up. What would you like to see? And do you think we will start with the same side that started against West Ham last night? Or do you think there will be changes?
I think Richarlison will definitely start. Probably at the expense of either Kulu or Sonny. I would put my money on Sonny. Yeah. I really would. Because Kulu's been very effective on that right-hand side, and he's created a lot of things for us. And then I would like to see Longley and Spence at the expense of Emerson and Davies, just to see how we are with those two in the side. You know, because Fulham, God bless them, they're not the greatest football team on earth, but they play very well against Liverpool. And they pressed them really hard. So I want to see us progress the ball, movement off the ball, not this tentative passing between the back four. I hate that because they all look nervous, then they pass it back to Lloris. So I don't want to see any of that. I want Basuma to start as well because obviously I don't think Bentancur would have recovered. Maybe if he does, I would like to see him back rather than Basuma.
Yeah.
And then I just want to see goals. I want to see the goals flying in. And I want Sonny to get on the score sheet from the bench.
I mean, Ellie wants to see goals. She wants to see Tottenham flowing. Tottenham Hotspur, we know and love. But if you haven't got the players to play out the back and do that, I mean, do you agree how we're playing? And why has Longley not been playing yet? Is it down to fitness or what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I think it's down to fitness, and he sort of wants to ease the new signings in. I don't think Spence will play
It's a shame.
I think Spence will play on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think just stick with Emerson. I think Longley probably going to come off the bench, but I do think Richarlison will get the start instead of Son. But yeah, I think he just wants to ease the signings in, doesn't want to throw them into the deep end. And yeah, and another thing is like I want to see the team, score goals. I would love to see 3-0, 4-0, 5-1, wins like that. But we don't really have the personnel to play like that. We don't have the defenders that can play out from the back to control the game. We don't have the the ultra attacking fullbacks or wing backs. That the likes of Man City have, Liverpool have. So I think, and even then, even if we did, Conte prefers to play like this. He's not the free flowing, super attacking manager. He does prefer, more defensively, more like with a more defense first approach. So I really don't mind the play style. I know that a lot of fans who've seen the team play, very attacking, free flowing, have some reservations about the style of football. But to me, it's not an issue. This is probably the best way to set up our team, given the personnel and given the manager's preferences.
Yeah, Philip. I mean, Paul Pablo says, just quickly for you, Paul Pablo says, good evening. Any new signings? We are looking at the Monaco signing. Martinez, the clubs, I think the clubs are talking, I think. So that's something we're keeping a very close eye on. Philip, Fulham. We should beat Fulham. We should play Fulham off the park. But they've started well in the Premier League since they come back up, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, I've been very impressed with them against Liverpool. Well, what we need to do is a fast start. None of this passing the ball 20 times between the fullbacks and the wing-backs and the centre halves to get out of their half. Start fast, get in at them. Use Kulusevski's pace, because we have to unsettle teams from the start. If we let them get in and dictate the rhythm of the match, we'll end up like Wolves in the first half. They will actually boss the ball, and we'll be, defending. And you can't really defend against Fulham without talking about Alexander Mitrovic, who is a one-man wrecking ball for them. He's a good player. And, we'll cause our defence trouble if we let Fulham get the service into him. So I want to see us do what we did to Southampton after they scored. Get at them. Fast pace, quick passing, no messing around. Get the ball up to the forwards as quick as possible. But the Fulham defence will not be able to cope with those three boys. Whichever permutation we play, we are too good for them. But it's getting the ball up to them quickly to get the service, to get the shots away. And we score early against Fulham and we will win convincingly. The longer it goes on, the more doubtful the fans are going to get. They're going to get nervy. They're going to get restless, as happened against Wolves as well. And it could end up being a scrappy 1-0 win, whereas I'm hoping it'll be an easy 3 or 4-0 win. So we'll have to wait and see. We have to start winning the games convincingly at home, because that's our fortress. And we can't give teams any sniff of a chance of an upset. And Fulham will be looking for that. We've got to snuff them out quickly before they get ideas above their station.
Right. What want to do as well, I'll go back to the Fulham bit in a minute. I just want to, it was something you said to me, Ellie, about teams after what happens when the transfer window shuts. So I just wanted to bring this up. It's something on the where is it now? There we go. The London News. There, and it's, where is it now? There we go. It's this one here. Tottenham can sign players after the 11 o'clock deadline now. Waiting for it to load up. Takes forever. Technology. Hurry up.
Yeah.
It says here, as long as the team sheets are in at 9 o'clock, between 9 and 11, it says here, where does it say it now? I did see it there in a minute. You get a 2 to 3 hour, 2 to 3 hour deal. It's a 2 hour period. So say we're going for a player at 10 o'clock. As long as the deal sheet is in before 11, we have 2 hours longer to get. There we go. These are the granted extra time to get the deal done, but this can be it can only be submitted between 9 and 11 p.m. Should the deal sheet be submitted in this 2 hour period, all the documents must be fully completed in order to allow it. This is usually why many deals confirmed right up to 1 a.m. following deadline day, as clubs are granted an extra 2 hour period to get the deals done. So that, I mean, all hope's not lost yet. Do you know, Ellie? Do you know?
Yeah.
We're coming now to 3 hours and I think 3 hours and 36 minutes left in the window.
Yeah.
Can we get something over the line before 11 o'clock?
I hope so. I hope so. We are last minute people, aren't we? We leave it to the very last second to get somebody in that sleepy style. I'd like to see us get CH, definitely, 100%. Fantastic player. And I wouldn't mind getting Tielemans either, because he's available. So I can't see any noise about it, though. The CH, yes, but not Tielemans. I haven't seen us linked with him.
Well, there's the Martins deal and the Chelsea deal that I think we're looking at. I think the Tielemans deal, I don't think that we're done this window. I think that will be a deal between now and January. IZHAN, any latest deals that you've come up, apart from Tottenham, any deals that caught your eye in the transfer window? Any new breaking news? Anything happening?
Sorry for the noise outside. I think it's a garbage truck. I don't know if it's but other than ZH, there hasn't been much going on. There were some names we were linked with. The Atalanta midfielder Malinovsky, but he's not going anywhere. Ilya Zeberny, the center back, we're not bringing. He's probably not coming in either. It seems like there probably won't be a signing coming in so far, but I guess we'll see. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a question here. I'll start with you, Philip, with this one. This is from, we've got Steph, Antonia, ladies. Hello to you all. Hi, Ellie. Big up to you, Steph.
That's my cousin.
Oh, big up.
Yes.
Welcome to the channel.
He's coming to the Spurs game with me.
Yeah. We've got Carlo Various here. Do you all have a feeling about Zancic arriving, or is it just me? Philip, I'll start with you on that one.
Well, I'm hoping. I mean, there's been no update really for the last couple of hours about that. Just that they're in talks. Whether they are or not, who knows? We really don't know. It could be one that just hits us at 5 to 9 or 5 to 11. The Spurs are in talks with Chelsea, and the deal is going to go ahead. And they'll take the extra 2 hour extension to finalise the paperwork. But I don't know. I'm hoping against hope. But I'd say at this stage, it's probably 70-30. It's not going to happen, really. Because we'd be hearing little snippets by now if it was, I would think. Somebody would have some word from somewhere, or spot somebody going somewhere, or somebody arriving at the training ground for a medical, that sort of thing,
And you, Ellie, what's your feeling on it?
Yeah, I was just reading up on it. It says we're still in talks with him, and we're in for a young Manchester City forward, Adideri Mabude. Is also of interest. Yeah. So I think they're working on it. Whether they get it over the line, that's another question. Is what they've only got. How long have they got now to do it?
3 hours and just wait for the
3 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, 3 hours and 30 minutes.
3.5 hours. 3.5 hours.
Yeah, 3.5 hours.
It says we're going to be very busy, the Evening Standard, on transfer deadline day. Hakim Ziyech, Nicolo Zanolo, Adideri Bambude, they've not cited. Yeah.
When was
So
that
let's
printed?
see.
You know,
Well, it's today. It's actually today's.
Yeah,
Right.
I actually swear Sky Sports don't like Tottenham. There's not been one mention.
They
We've
don't.
been doing this stream now for nearly 3
I know.
hours, and there's not been not even one reporter down at White Hart Lane.
No.
I'll tell you what Sky Sports do. They keep putting out these rumours, hoping that someone is going to go on to Sky Bet and put a bet on that such and such player leaves, such and such to go to. It's all on to get business for Sky Bet. But you're right. There's been no mention of Spurs. But then again, you know, I mean, if they weren't mentioning us, it probably wouldn't be in a good light anyway, because you know they never give us credit for anything.
No, they don't, Philip.
They're
not on your Christmas card list, are they, Phil?
No, definitely not. No.
We've got Steph here saying we've still got more time. Remember, Sissoko was a late one as well. That is so true.
Sissoko. It's a late one as well. Sorry. Yeah. We didn't really want him though.
IZHAN, do you know, how's your feeling on the Chelsea deal? Do you think we'll get that one over the line?
As of now, it looks kind of unlikely. I've read that we could still be in for Adama Traore, but with Hill not leaving, I don't think that'll be that one will go through.
It's going to be a slow 3 hour and a half window wise for us, but other teams seem to be doing. Nottingham Forest seem to be spending more money. Fulham, I mean, they've had a good deadline day. Fulham, for me, I think they've been the best out of the lot.
Well, like the thing about it is they're buying players, but if those players were bought by Spurs, would we be happy? No. Because I've
just been on Sky Sports' site as well. There's no mention of any players about Spurs. They don't want to mention it. Everywhere else, they're mentioning it.
Yeah,
I think Philip needs a Sky Sports rant now.
Come on, we're ready for you, Philip.
The thing about Sky Sports is you've got you have the likes. It's the commentators that get me. You have Alan Smith commentating on a Spurs Arsenal game, right?
Yeah,
it's not even fair to ask him to be impartial. You have Jamie Carragher commentating on a Liverpool versus Man United game and doing a jig when Liverpool score. You know, like, how many times have you heard when Salah scores, "Come on, you beauty"? That's not being impartial, right? And they never seem to have Tottenham players in the box. Now, I'm going to give out now about BT Sport. Last night, they had Glenn Hoddle, and I love Glenn Hoddle to bits. But I'll tell you one thing, I nearly put my foot through the telly. Some of the comments he was coming out with. They were totally Tottenham. He was trying so hard to be impartial, he'd gone the other way completely. He was bigging up West
you're
Ham.
right, Philip.
He didn't have a good word to say about Tottenham. And that's what happens when a player tries to be impartial, but fails miserably and goes on the other side. So I hope Glenn Hoddle, he's a legend at Spurs. I love him to bits. But I'll tell you one thing, he was very frustrating last night. It was like he'd gone over to the dark.
It was like he was a West Ham fan for the night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was all positive West Ham and negative Spurs.
Yeah. And then you had Joe Cole. He was so biased, it's unbelievable.
That's another thing. In the studio, they had Joe Cole and Carlton Cole, two ex-West Ham players. Now, surely, the way to have it would be one West Ham, one Spurs.
Yeah. No, you see, balance it out. Now, they had Peter Crouch, but he wasn't in the studio. He was outside.
Still 2-1. You know, you got to be level.
Peter Crouch was the only one pulling the strings for us. Peter Crouch was the only one who had anything good to say about us. And then he was pulled down about it. Soon as they kept on making him laugh so that he didn't come across serious of what he was saying. But what he was saying was very good points about Spurs. That we're very solid. You know, we're not going to give a lot of goals away, even though we don't think our defence is good. We've only let in 4 goals, haven't we? In 5 games. That's
the thing. A lot of people think we're unbeaten in 14 matches.
Yeah.
That's not to be sniffed at, you know.
No. That's Man City level.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, we haven't won them all. We've drawn a few. But the fact to go that many games without actually losing a match instills confidence and a winning mentality among the team, among the players. They go out every game expecting not to lose.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I think Conte, what he does at half time, we do improve in the second half. But I was surprised at West Ham we regressed. But I think it's because Højbjerg got an injury, right? So he was carrying his ankle when he should have taken him off. He should have seen the danger on the left and catered for it, but he didn't. So he made a few mistakes, but he'll learn from that because however good a coach you are, you can make mistakes.
Oh, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
No.
Like I remember watching the Wolves match there, and I kept saying, please get to half time at no score because Conte will change it in the second half. And he did.
Yeah.
But last match, I'm afraid, whether West Ham's tactics negated Conte's, we did come out best in the second half, you know.
Moyes beat him in the second half. And also the West Ham players stepped up a gear. They were hungry for it, and they pressed high and they kept us boxed in. And because they know we can't pass from the back and we're very tentative, Moyes' tactics was perfect. Cool. It didn't catch us off guard, actually. We were expecting it, but we should have catered for it a lot earlier. We should have put on Longley, who could get the ball out, put on Spence, who could get the ball out, and then we would have been fine. We probably would have gone on to win the match.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
It's up top. We're far superior to them.
Oh, yeah. We're far superior to most things. Really, everything.
Yeah. I think it's only Man City and Liverpool can compete with us up top.
Not even. I wouldn't even put Liverpool in that bracket now. The fact they've lost Mane, you know. Salah's off the ball. Imagine winning a match 9-0 and your leading scorer doesn't even score. You know. Yeah.
Sonny must be happy.
Well, sorry for Sonny last night. I mean, with a half a yard, and he would have got a touch on that. It would have been his goal. That might have kick-started his season, you know. You know.
Are we inviting any fans in, Dermot?
No, not yet, Ellie. I'm just in probably the process of doing that now, Ellie. So
good.
We have actually one player that went out. I was just trying to copy and paste it, but we'll get it there. It's one of the youngsters has gone.
Marcel Lavanier.
Yeah, he's left.
He refused a new contract.
He's gone to Swindon.
He refused to sign a new contract, so he's gone.
Yeah,
he's gone.
Jose Mourinho gave him his debut.
That's right. Yeah,
he showed some promise, but obviously he's regressed because otherwise the club would have brought him on. You know, there must be. I've seen a lot of social media stuff he does, and he's quite a lad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I won't go there.
Yeah. Is there any latest transfer stuff you can tell us about, and tell the viewers about anything latest coming up?
Yes, Southampton have signed Duhé Coletta-Car from Marseille. They were in for Maxence Lacroix from Wolfsburg, but that deal collapsed probably because Wolfsburg were asking for too much. This is a player we've been linked with, but the player I'm talking about is Coletta-Car, but he's off to Southampton now. Pretty good signing for them, left-footed center back, or I think right-footed center back, but he's a decent enough, solid enough player for them. I personally wouldn't have taken him, but good signing.
Yeah, right.
I was just laughing at what's been written on the Irish Hotspur, Dermot, just before you. He's so funny. Right, so Christian, he's a regular on Irish. He's put Tottenham have agreed, Ruslan Malinowski, that today is Thursday and tomorrow is Friday. Source Fabrizio Romano. And then Ben Kaufman's written, I'm making a deadline day swoop for Mila Kunis. She's expected to tell me to do one. More news at 8:30. I think people are getting sarcastic now because we're not really getting much news in about who we're going to sign.
I think Malinowski is not the player. I think it's the club won't let him go there because Marseille
the club won't let him go.
So we can't be blamed for that, you know.
No. The link for the subscribers is in the community section. for you to come on and have you say. Now, you're only coming on for about 10 minutes, so we can be fair to everyone that wants to come on, that wants to come on can stay on. So we're not having everyone staying all night. So the link is there. I've put it in the community. If you want to come on and have you say about the transfer window, about the West Ham game last night, about the Fulham game coming up, come on for 10, 15 minutes and then have your say. So this is sort of a new feature we're trying out tonight. So come on, have your say. You've got 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll get the next person on.
I'm going to take a break at 8 o'clock, Dermot, if you don't mind. I just have to go.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I've got to go on Kieran's show. But Neil Shafton says something very interesting. He's put Harry Kane made a nice pass on West Ham's own goal. It's about all that was good in the first half. I agree in terms of, it led to a goal, but we did some nice passes through to the front two and to Kulu as well, especially Højbjerg. He played some really nice killer passes in the first half.
Yeah.
I think whatever passes from other players goes amiss, I think. If Harry Kane's not making them, it seems everybody forgets it. You know, or not. I'm not saying Neil's forgotten it. He's probably giving praise to Harry Kane. That's all.
Chelsea have made an offer to sign Ajax defensive midfielder / center back Edson Alvarez. 50 million euro bid set to be rejected for the Mexican 24-year-old.
Wow.
Okay. They're getting rejected a lot, Chelsea, aren't they?
Yeah, because who wants to go and play for Chelsea? And seriously. Who wants to play for them?
Edson Alvarez is actually a player that I do like. He's pretty versatile. He's technically skilled. He's strong. But 50 million euros, if I was Ajax, I'd probably take that. It seems like they've rejected it, though. This is from David Ornstein, very, very, very reliable journalist from the Athletic.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've got now. We've got Forest have signed Willie from Leicester have signed Bears from Rams for 15 million.
Yeah.
Just keeping you updated, the ladies, Republic of Ireland ladies team are playing at home to Fulham. If they win, they go into the World Cup playoffs. So I will be keeping you up to date with that as well. We've got Man United away at Leicester. We'll be giving you up to date on that match, and as well as all the latest news from the transfer window. And me and IZHAN.
Leicester, Man United, at 8
and
o'clock.
Then me and IZHAN are going to go a bit of a European transfer deadline sort of did from big clubs like for PSG, the Italian league, how we think they've done, teams in Europe, the Scottish teams deadline closes at midnight. So, you know, there's lots of bits and pieces coming. Ellie, a lot of people are saying it's time for Bissouma and Skip against Fulham. Neil's put is Skip 100% now. So what do you know about Skip, and do you think there will be changes in the team, and who would you rest first?
I think that's a good shout, actually, giving Skippy a game, because he's been out for a while. It'll boost his confidence, and he's a decent player. He's very good. You know, like, he's very good at tracking back. He's a good passer of the ball. He's strong in the tackle. I like Skippy. He complimented Højbjerg when they were together. In that first game against Man City especially, I remember they really did play well together. And, you know, they've got a good understanding of each other's games, just like Bentancur and Højbjerg. I think Skip offers that little bit more youth exuberance. You know, he's got a little bit more energy about him. You know, and we do need that against Fulham, because they really do press you. So we need players who can move the ball quicker, and Skippy can offer us that. How about you, IZHAN? What do you think about bringing Skip back?
I wouldn't start Skip and Bissouma together in the midfield against Fulham. I think Skip isn't 100% fit. I think Bissouma still needs to adjust tactics. So I wouldn't mind bringing them off the bench, but I'd prefer Bjerg and Bentancur if possible.
If he's fit. I think he's recovered from his concussion, hasn't he? I haven't looked up all the latest news, but they said they expect him to.
Okay, that's good news then. Yeah.
For me, I would start Skip, and I would start Skip and Basuma myself. I would also start Richarlison to give Sonny a rest, and hopefully we'll see Romero will be back, and hopefully we can play Longley as well in that defence.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. Look, for me, it was the goalkeeper last night. That's the worrying aspect for me. Luis cannot play out with his feet. Now, we all know he's not the best player with his feet, Ellie. We've had great keepers down the years, Ray Clements, Eric Torsvet. We've had some really we've had bad keepers. Ian Walker for once. He was a nightmare. So, do we need to start now looking for a replacement for Luis, because he may not be here next season? And who would you like to get as his replacement? And also, Ellie, on top of this, sorry, it's a long-winded question. Do you feel Fraser Foster will be that stopgap while we're bringing this other keeper in?
Yeah, I think Fraser Forster will probably play in the cup games, I would imagine. Maybe the League Cup and the FA Cup. I think he might get his chance there. But do you know who I would like to see? That Basunu. Very good keeper. And he's good with his feet. Yeah. He's fantastic with his feet. And he's good. He's a good shot stopper. Now, when we played Southampton, he made some really good saves. Okay, we peppered their goal in the second half, and he got overrun, and his defence didn't help him. So, but I like him, and what I've seen since is I'm impressed with him. I like him a lot. Obviously, Man City had him, didn't they? And he's on. Is he still on loan to Southampton? I believe.
No, I thought Southampton.
Or they bought him. Did he actually sign him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, but we've got a really good relationship with Southampton, apart from Levy sometimes getting on their nerves. But we've had quite a few players from them. We really do pick up some really top class players as well. We've had Bell, we've had Wanyama, we've had Højbjerg. We've got lots of players, and we've given them Carl Walker-Peters only. But I think I would like him or the Wolves goalie, because I like the Wolves goalie as well. Sarr, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Jose, is it Jose Sarr?
Yeah.
I like him a lot as well. Yeah, and Wolves had a fantastic defence last season. It's just that they couldn't score and get victories over the line. Yeah, so either one of those two.
I mean, look, it's been a long window. It's been, it has been. Look, it's been a long window, really, for us. Yeah. We started off great. We started like a lion and we ended like a lamb.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just looking online.
That's a good analogy.
There's no latest updates for us. I mean, look, we've got Fulham Saturday. The season starts now. We're still unbeaten. Surely we should be taking positive from that instead of trying to look at the dark side. Let's take the positives. Where we are now as a club, where we are now with everything that's going on. Do you agree with that, Ellie, or do you think you're right to be that there should be doom and gloom?
No, I don't jump on the bandwagon of doom and gloom. No, I'm more towards halfway. In terms of what we've brought in, because we did start off like a lion and finish off like a lamb. That was evident. But the thing is, the ones that we have brought in that are lions, they've improved our squad, and you can see already, like Richarlison's made the big impact from coming off the bench. Even though he hasn't played fantastically out of this world, he gets himself about. And Basuma, he will come good, because we know Basuma's a good player. We know he's an excellent player and he's a good baller. He was just a bit nervous yesterday, I thought, because it was his debut, his proper debut. But the only thing I know I'll keep on harping on about it, but I'd like to see us get a nice world-class centre-back, just to give us that extra oomph, like when we got Dave Mackay back in the day. You know, he made a big difference. Even Bill Nicholson said it. He was the icing on the cake, because he had the cake, but he didn't have the icing. And that would be our icing on the cake.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, see, I've used Philip's analogy now.
I mean, how glad, I mean, I'm over the moon that the Dan James thing didn't go through. I mean, that would have been not a good signing. I just want to tip back to the West Ham game last night about Conte's criticism of VAR. And I just want to say, I mean, launched into a trade. I mean, that penalty, Ellie, start with you and then I go to you, IZHAN. That was a penalty, surely, wasn't it?
It was a penalty, man. Come on. Like, he's flapped his arm out to stop it with his hand. Unlucky for us, it hit his bloody head. Really, it hit the side of his face. And then he flaps up and stops the ball getting to our striker. So that was a blatant handball.
Yeah.
And I just don't get the referee, because he gave it, and then he went to the monitor and cancelled it out. I was so furious, Dermot. I don't know about you, IZHAN, but I think that was 100% penalty.
It was. It really was.
He had his arm in an unnatural position. Initially, it's not like he's hit his head and then he put his arm out. He had his arm out straight away. Oh, very annoying.
I mean, look, I read you out here what Conte said last night in his press conference after the game.
Yeah.
He says, Conte said, and this, I'll start with you, Liz, and then I'd like your response to this, then you, Ellie. And also a bit of breaking news. Chelsea have reached agreement in principle with Barcelona to sign Aubameyang for around 10 million plus Marco Alonso going the other way.
Yeah, that's right.
Conte
I'm glad to see back of him.
Conte said, I said to him, the referee, at the end of the first half, but with a smile and not in a problematic way, you have taken the right decision, and then VAR called you. They have for sure embarrassed the referee, because to make him change a right decision, I think is really, really strange. But for managers and for players, I think to accept the mistake of the referee during the game is okay, because a referee's decision sometimes can be positive, sometimes can be negative. At the end of the season, there's always a balance with positive or negative situation for your team. Is VAR really becoming a joke now, or do you think that, you know, it's been in for 3 years now, do you think they still haven't got it right?
Look, VAR isn't the issue. It's the referees that use it. They should be able to look at the replays and, you know, go you know, see the video, slow it down, and make the correct decision. But the problem has always been the referees. Do I think the refereeing is as bad as people say it is? No, I don't think so. I think in the Premier League, the refereeing standard would be about a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I don't think it's like a 3 or 4 out of 10. I don't think it's that bad. But I think that we should have it higher, to the point where it's an 8 or 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. I think our standard should be there. We're probably around a 6 or 7 out of 10. So I don't think VAR is the issue. I think it's just the referees that use it.
Yeah, I agree with you, IZHAN.
What do you say?
I agree with everything IZHAN just said. Intelligent lad. Right, so there's some decisions that are like so fine cut. They should really give it to the attacking side, because and also how long they take. It kills the game. I don't know about you guys, but 4.5 minutes it took to make that decision last night. And that's quite a regular thing now.
It is.
You know, so it's killing the game of football. I prefer to just do the goal line technology and let the referee make the decisions. Because I think fans are fed up with it now.
Yeah.
But I don't think the administrators who run the football, they're not proper football people to me, because they might have been ex-footballers and that, but if they know the game now, you can't stop it like that. It's murdering the game for us fans and for the players, because it takes them out of their rhythm.
I mean, Eddie, you look at rugby, you look at even we have VAR, we have Hawkeye, which is like VAR over here for the GAA. You look at rugby, you look at American football, they could all make a decision within a couple of seconds.
Like that.
Do you think the referee talking to the fans, explaining the decision, do you think that would help, or do you think that could incite trouble inside the ground if it was a tight decision? Do you think? What do you think? Do you think that'd be a good thing?
Yeah, because there's the letter of the law that a lot of fans don't know. Like yesterday, they did the letter of the law because it hit his head first and went onto his arm. But there's common sense as well. Yeah, in the letter of the law, if it hits another part of the back, if it hits a part of your body and rebounds onto your arm, but there's also the letter of the law which says if your arm's in an unnatural position, and it was clearly in an unnatural position to block the ball with his arm. Yeah, so they've got to put some judgment on it, but I think that was the wrong decision. And also, you find there's so many fine cut offside positions, like your toenail was offside, like the Harry Kane one last year. I know it's in swings and roundabouts. You get some go for you, some that don't go for you. But the ones that don't go for you, you remember more, don't you? Because it's your team. I just feel that it's spoiling the game.
Yeah,
I love the beautiful game, and it's spoiling it for me.
Yeah, IZHAN.
And I'm sure. What about people in the chat? What they think about it?
Yeah, I'm waiting for them. Look, while we're waiting for people, the link for the show is in the community section of our YouTube channel. Use it, come on and have your say, and we'd love to know what you think about it. So the link is there. We a bit more from his press conference. He was asked about rotation, and he was asked why didn't he? He was actually firstly asked when asked why he didn't sub any more players. Conte said that he was concerned about a challenge changing the dynamic of the team. But in that same answer, he also said that he for sure plans to rotate his squad for Saturday's upcoming home match against Fulham. And this was his quote. He says, I think at the moment I didn't want to change the balance of the team. Skippy was the first time with us. He trained with us for only 2 days, and I wanted to give him the possibility to come on the bench and breathe the atmosphere and risk to play because Holberg received a really bad tackle. Then I wanted to make only one change with Richie because in that moment we needed energy, strong energy. In other situations, I prefer to keep the balance in that moment, and also because the two days we've had to play against Fulham, and for sure I will make rotations. My players know very well that, but they are ready, and we are ready to face this many games in a row in 2 or 3 days. Start with you. What do you say to that? What Conte have to say about that?
Do you know what? Having you read that out, I did read it earlier, but when you read it, it hit home more clearly. Right. Conte is a very smart manager. He's highly intelligent. He knows the game inside out. He was a fantastic footballer himself in terms of technical ability, tactics and where he should be on the pitch and how to gel the side. He wasn't the best technical player, but he knew the game inside out. And he's brought that to his management style as well. So he likes to keep things very compact. He doesn't like to make too many upsets in the squad either. So he's a very loyal manager. If you work hard for him, he will keep you in the side. That's why he's keeping players like Højbjerg, Bentancur. They do work hard. He's kept Dyer because however bad Dyer is, right, he does work hard. He has got Tottenham in his heart. You can tell that. Yeah. All right. So there's certain things that Conte sees that we don't see, you know, because we're not coaches. I played football, but I've never been. Well, I've been a coach, but not like at his level. But I think what he wants though, what he wants is an improvement, is to get that ball forward more from the back. So I think he's going to make changes. I want to see Jed Spence and Longley. I want to see them. And Fulham is the perfect game to do it because they're not a top flight side. You know, you don't risk them against teams like Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. You don't, right? You keep solid. What he trusts these players to do a job for him, and they did last season. They got some very good results. But other than that, I just feel that, you know, he's such an intelligent man, and in English ain't even his first subject, and then language, and he still comes across better than some English people.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I want to bring Steak Man on. He's coming on for his 10 minutes of Steak minutes of fame.
Yes, Steak.
As long as you talk sensible and talk Spurs and not too often your little ranjits like you used to do, you're grand.
He can say Steak though.
He can say Steak, but that's it. This is supposed to be serious.
I think when the transfer window's over, I think we'll know 100% if Conte is backed or not due to the press conference. What's after it?
Right.
I don't think we should start Longley against Fulham because apparently he lacked concentration as a defender at Barcelona and Seville. So against Mitrovic, who's going to be up for the game for the entire 90 minutes, that's a bad idea. With Spence, I think it's a good idea because they're not really that good on the wing backs.
Right.
And we need more players.
So
it's nice to hear another opinion.
It actually is, actually. So
it's refreshing.
I mean, IZHAN, he did the player profile on Longley. Do you want to ask Alex about you've done the Longley play profile, IZHAN, so I'll let you take this conversation with Alex and questions you may want to ask him because he feels he doesn't want to start with Longley. Would you have a different reason to that?
With Longley, I think that's fair for him not to start because he's coming off an injury. We don't know how fit he is, whether he's adjusted to the squad and whatnot. But I just basically wanted to ask: Do you think Longley is better than Davies, at least on paper? What are your thoughts?
He is. He was actually one of the best defenders at Seville before he joined Barcelona in the back three.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, do not go for the teams who have physically strong strikers and wingers. Just go for teams who've got forwards who are skillful. That's who I think Longley's good against.
Okay. My reasoning for having him start is because he's such a good passer of the ball and we've been lacking in that position. And then what we can do is outscore the opposition because obviously his passing is going to be fantastic into Kane and into Perisic. So therefore we'll create more chances. Whereas with Davies, he's restricted in his passing and also he's quite nervous on the ball. And I think Mitrovic might have him for toast as well. Because although Davies probably might be as slightly stronger than Longley, we'll get more benefit out of Longley with his passing. That was my reasoning anyway.
Yeah.
But it depends on his fitness though.
Yeah, I think the passing will improve anyway when we have Romero because if you watch the West Ham game, all our passes were through the right hand side. And whenever Davinson had the ball or Emerson, they just boot it out after being under pressure.
Yeah, and it wasn't even to one of our players, Alex. If it reached one of our players, it would have been fine. But none of them reached our players.
No, that's so true, Ellie. Look,
very frustrating.
We're coming up now.
I
knew he was going to say
that's
that.
All right.
It's coming up to 8 o'clock now. Look, I don't think we're going to be making any more signings. Actually, I don't think tonight. I actually don't think so. So, we may finish this show a little bit earlier than it was planned, because there is a lot of big shows on tonight. Dave's on,
Yeah.
a lot of the big hitters are on. So we may finish a bit earlier and let you all go off and watch your favourite shows, apart from us. So what I will do is get your thoughts on the Fulham game now. We're going to concentrate on that. Who's showing us, Ellie?
Do you see that? That's Levy with a fan outside the training ground.
Put the screen higher a little bit.
Was it leaving or coming in?
I don't know. Let me read it. Oh, it said, oh no, somebody's just joked. This is what a 1-star rating Uber looks like.
Yeah. Look, we're coming now to sort of like the end of the window now, and I just want to I want to turn our attention to Fulham. We'll do the next little while on Fulham, and I think we will end the stream there because I don't think there's going to be a lot happening. And especially with all the big shows that are coming on at 9:30, I think we'll just.
I've got to go on a show soon as well. I've got to go on another show that I promised to go on.
We'll wrap it up. We're on for another 10 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up.
Should we come on just before it finishes, Dermot?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. We'll come back on we'll all come back on about 10:30. And we'll
10:30, yeah.
10:30.
I'll be there.
We'll all come back in. Then
you all right for 10:30, IZHAN? Steak, you all right for 10:30? Come on again.
Yeah.
Well, hello.
Who's playing football?
None of that, Alex.
Who's playing that?
That's not me.
Alex, behave yourself.
That's not me.
Who was
it's not
that?
Me either.
It's not me either.
It wasn't me.
Anyway,
my phone looked. See.
Let's get your thoughts on Fulham.
I think it was a Reddit video in the background. Sorry.
IZHAN's the culprit. Don't worry, we forgive you, IZHAN. You're a lovely lad.
Let's get your thoughts on Fulham, and let's get your score prediction for Fulham and what you want to see for Fulham is, and then we'll go to Ellie, then we'll go to Alex, then I'll give my opinion to end off, and then we will be back at 11, do the last 15 minutes of the window so we can all have a good discussion about that. So Fulham, what's your thoughts on Fulham and your score prediction?
With Fulham, look, they're playing really well this season. One player with Fulham who I do think is very, very underrated, João Palhinha. I know Mitrovic gets all the attention, but João Palhinha is an absolute baller. Especially I've seen him in the Portuguese league.
Yeah, he was
for Sporting. He was one of the people there. He's a very good player, very solid, very hardworking. Fulham also signed Manor Solomon on loan. He's yet to play, but he is a very talented Israeli left winger. He's a brilliant dribbler, and I think he can cause problems for any team. But yeah, João Palhinha is the one player besides Mitrovic I would look out for. I think that we'll win. I'm going for a 3-1. I just think that this is the game where we can get a lot of goals in. It even could be 3-0. I think we're much better than them, and we should really flex our muscles this game.
And you, Ellie?
Yeah, I think we're going to have too much for them up top, but they'll score. I'm sure they're going to score because Mitrovic is firing on all cylinders. I think it might be a high scoring, maybe a 4-2, because I think they're going to come at us. I don't think they're going to play a low block. Well, if they do, it won't be good for them because I think we've got too much up top for them. But I'd like to see us play the ball out of defence better, and with Romero coming back, I'm sure it's going to improve. So I just think we've got too much for them.
And what's your
4-2?
Yeah, and you, Alex?
I think they're going to score first. I think Pereira's going to be a threat for Fulham. What else?
Yeah.
I don't really fear Fulham that much,
No.
but they can cause trouble, like what they did to Arsenal. I think they were unlucky to not get a point.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I think they're going to score first, but we'll come back. I think we're going to win 33-1 with
3-1,
Emerson
goodness
with 10 goals, Lloris with 10, and Kane with 3, and Richarlison with 10.
That's good.
So Alex is
That's 50-0.
yeah. So Alex is going
53.
completely. Look for me.
You're funny, Alex, man.
Look for me. There will be rotations. I think Sonny will be rested. I think there will be a few changes in around the game. We should beat Fulham. I think we will beat Fulham. We need a reaction from the West Ham game. I think we need to go out there. These are the games we need to win. These are the games we need to get 3 points. These are the games in the past where we haven't played well and we haven't actually got the points. But let's look on the positives. We're 8 points more than we had last season. We're third in the league. We're unbeaten. 3 wins, 2 draws. We're 11 points. We're third in the league. Let's look at the positive. Let's go to Fulham. Let's go and give them hell. I think we're going to win 3-0. I really do. I'm actually thinking Richie will get his first go for Tottenham. I think Basuma and Skippy will start in the midfield. Kane will get a goal. Spurs will win 3-0. Look, we will be back at 10:30 tonight with the last half hour of the window. I'll be back. Ellie will be back. IZHAN probably will be back. Mr. Alexander Hilton will be in the chat doing steak all the time.
Steak.
Thank you for the last 3.5 hours. Really enjoyed it. I want to thank PHILLIP for coming on. I want to thank IZHAN for coming on as well. Ellie, Alex. I want to thank Leo from My Hotspur as well. To go over there and show a link for their channel. And I will also want to thank Sean Butler as well for coming on as well.
Mr. Butler. It's game time.
We've had me and IZHAN have had debates with people from the Leave the Out movement earlier on as well. So we had a good debate with that, didn't we, IZHAN, with Leo? It was fair, it was balanced, and it was your opinion will be respected on this channel. Let's not get bogged down of who did what and who did who and who did whatever. We all support the same team. We're all Tottenham Hotspur fans. Let's not forget, we all love this club. We'll see you back at 10:30. Thank you all for watching. God bless you.
Thank you, guys.
He's got some players.
Steak.
Yeah. We'll take him out. Me and Ellie and IZHAN will see you back at 10:30.
Come
God bless
on.
you all. Come on, you Spurs. You never know. We might have a signing in when we come back.
I hope so. Let's pray.
In Conte, I trust.
See you, lads. Bye-bye.